Good morning, Macon, Georgia, Middle Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the morning roast for Thursday, November 7th, 2013. You're here live from the Nut House with Irv, Ed, and DB here. Can you smell what the roast is brewing?
Welcome all.
Don't just
I
answer
can
that,
smell
just
what
say
it's brewing.
All right.
Yeah, nice. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, the world. Anybody out there looking? People in general. Everybody.
That's what we're
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, and thank goodness we have another day to spread our deep desire to do good in our community. How's
Yes. Yes, that's good.
A lot of us have that.
Yes.
I want to stay out of the way of those that are going to be in charge now, waiting for them to be sworn in and all that stuff before I make my entrance again in the people's minds.
Okay.
But the current news, good news for Macon, Bib.
Yes.
35 Macon police officers were swapping one badge for another. Let me be clear.
Okay.
They were sworn in this morning as Bibb County deputies. As part of the merger, the two departments that becomes official January 1st. Law enforcement officials with fellow officers filled Precinct 1 on Charlene Drive. You know where that is.
Yeah.
That's Elaine Lucas territory. To see the officers receive their new badges.
Okay.
Sheriff Davis thanked the men for their service, and David plans 3 more swearing-in ceremonies by the end of November, and then a massive event for the entire Force family and friendship friends
In January.
in January. There you go.
Yeah. I think
It's killed my video.
we have the.
I play the video.
No, put it on. It's a big deal. Read the story, and then they see it. That's how we provide news.
Okay. What happened to
See, there's no
the
voice.
audio?
There's no audio.
Okay.
There's our video.
Well,
Now-
as Irving said, according to the story, the several police officers, at least 35 of
To
them.
serve and protect the
Yes.
shit out of you.
Yes, they
See,
were
that's going
sworn
to change.
in
You're
into
going to say big sheriff.
Yeah, Macon
it's
Bibb
gonna say
County
sheriff.
Sheriff's Department. Yes.
All the cars got to still be changed.
Which is nothing because it's just a little paint. It's nothing but well, it's not even a paint job. It's just a decal. All they gotta do is just switch decals over for something else. So it's
Yeah,
not.
you gotta get the old ones off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just the cows. That's all they do. Yeah, they take those off and put them on. The white cars.
Decals, not the cows.
Oh, decals. Decals.
Decals.
Thank you.
Decals, like a name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, decal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're gonna emphasize their name. Yeah, I did. I did look at the new website, Yurak. I just saw it. I'm not sure if I like it yet
Gotta
either.
get used to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like it yet either.
I think it's Sabellis who's running it.
Oh, okay.
So they'll probably go down nice.
Well, MAC got an overhaul on just about everything. It no longer is it Randall Savage doing up close or close up, whatever, up
Close
close,
up.
and it's now that blonde girl. And then the main guy that does the news, he's got a pretty stellar history to him, being somewhere in Atlanta, some shit. I don't even know where he came from.
To my Frank Malloy.
Yeah, and they also hired our good old friend Harold Goodrich, who used to write for the Macon Telegraph, and he's in there as a reporter now. So you know, it's changing. WMAZ is a local television station that talks about getting to the heart of the matter. They've been good sports with me as far as giving me any kind of press. They always show up.
Wow.
So it's a good news organization. But that was where we went to Losers Lounge when Anthony, during the election, the first round, the primary, And we went in there and found all the losers that had lost the race that night in the lobby.
That lost the race, yeah.
All the losers.
Speaking of, I guess, winners and losers, it sent me this story. I remember we talked about this story sometime like last year, where this guy was suing his wife over ugly children because he thought she was cheating on him.
You see how you take the air out of that story. You kind of just say he loses his children over ugly
Well, yeah,
children,
but
that could be the crescendo of this story.
Well, yeah, he thought his wife was cheating on him because he thought why his children were ugly. So that it must have been some other dude's babies, children.
I mean, that's
And
horrible.
yeah, I know it's horrible. We talked about like late when we were still at the Roasted Cafe. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
But I guess it's an update on the story. So this guy, he divorced. A Chinese man divorced and sued his ex-wife for giving birth to what he called extremely ugly baby girl, according to Irish Times. But initially, Jen Fang accused the wife of infidelity, that he could never father an unattractive child. Wow, he certainly is a modest person. But when a DNA test proved that the baby was his, Fang's wife came clean on a little secret. Before they met, she had undergone about $100,000 worth of cosmetic surgery.
Wow.
They look kind of Jewish.
Well, they look, yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
she
they're
probably
Mexicans.
no. I think she probably got one of her eyes. Got her eyes rounded.
Well, the
as
little
you can
girl
tell.
looks autistic. Well, not.
I think they're all
what-
fucking ugly.
what's-
How's that?
I don't know. They.
Jeez, and why are you still divorced?
The woman is beautiful. The guy is good looking. Maybe he sees his kids are
I
looking
got
like
people
retarded.
They
or
take
something.
after me.
He's
Okay.
still young.
Yeah, I know. But this was the outcome of
Then
the.
blast off, Captain. The little beans that
God
I
help
got
us.
last night.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
But the thing is that he basically sued, and by some strange coincidence, he won. Judge agreed with Fang's argument and ordered his ex-wife to fork over $120,000. Wow.
They should be turning a lot of tricks.
my kids are horrible looking. I have to give
His
him
words.
all plastic surgery. That's what's he thinking?
The back of their head.
It's in the genes.
bad
There are families that are good looking that have ugly kids, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a recessive gene, sometimes it's a dominant. You know. I mean, that's why you always kind of wonder how come Joe Jackson hasn't been put in jail or something like that. Because I mean, if you want to talk about the one who basically started Michael down the road to getting plastic surgery, anyway, it's definitely Joe. When Michael was a teenager, he had bad acne and stuff. And to my man, where'd you get that big
Well,
ass?
Michael's dead. That's what happens when you overdo it.
Well, yeah.
These poor kids. I don't know. Joe Jackson was one ugly MFer.
Well, yeah. He had a nerve to talk about Michael's nose to my man. You got a big nose, like, dude, I got it from you. You know. I
Well,
got it from
maybe
you, Dad.
his protection from getting molested. Anyway,
Uh,
all right. Well, that's very sad news of a family.
yes.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
Bring a story about a dysfunctional family like that. And speaking of which, I finally talked to my nephew today. It's Edward Mampa's son, known as Little Eddie.
Okay.
Since he was
Because Ed was big
Little
Eddie.
he's about in his 30s now. My brother had him when I was 14, so yeah, he's probably close to that. Around 1976 somewhere,
Okay.
he was born. My brother Edward's oldest son, and he was going to be a first and only son. The others came out when he was already older. But he's one, and then he also had Jerry, and Eddie and little Jerry, who's named after my brother who died. My brother always had reasons to name his kids his son. He named one of them Damien for that movie Omen.
No.
He was so entranced with Omen that
What,
he named
he
his
thought
kid
his son was
Damien.
the devil
I
or
swear to God.
something?
And that's the insanity that Edward Mampa has gone through on some of his decision making. He used to sing that shit to the kid.
Oh, jeez.
Like
did
pretend
he
that
ever
he was giving him a demonic possession with his singing.
Oh, jeez. Did he ever have like a Rottweiler or something to protect his son? You know, one of them demon dogs?
I don't know. Well, he had dogs. He had dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had.
But not Rottweiler?
Besides his wife, yeah. The Omen was one evil movie when it first came out, I know.
Yeah.
And the insanity was that he was all into it. He said, oh, I'm going to name my kid Damien after Omen. I love that movie. Blah. I'm like,
why?
get a life.
Jeez.
Get a life.
I know, man. Man, get a. No,
I mean, even
get a hobby. Jeez, man, read a book or something. Read some Mark Twain. You know, name
do something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Damien.
Yeah, you should be super glue in the room. It's all falling apart. Anyway, so he.
I'm
called
glad he
me
wasn't
up.
a Betty Davis fan. If he had a girl probably named her Jezebel, because that was one of the movies Betty Davis was.
Well, he does have a daughter, and she is like a Jezebel. She's
I was
really
just-
tough.
Well, just
She's not like all the sons are all like very endearing. Hey, how's it going? She's like sits there. What's up?
Maybe she's cold
Anyway,
or
these
something.
are all my son's kids. God bless them all. They're all growing up. They all have kids now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm technically an uncle, grandfather, or granduncle
Yeah.
already to a few of these kids. My family gave off a lot of kids. I'm the only one, along with my sister Alice, who's the third oldest from the top of the tree. She didn't have any kids, and I didn't have any kids. Everybody else had kids.
Mm-hmm.
I got enough bloodline, believe me, there's enough blood out there. But it didn't come from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And sadly to say, I wish that we were closer, but then that's what I was telling my nephew, you know. It's really hard living in a very dysfunctional family where shit comes up that's like 30 years old. It's like you could barely remember what they're mad about. I mean, who cares? My life has moved on tenfold.
Yes.
But they're still stuck and worried about some dish problem that we had and nobody washed. Somebody got upset about it.
Did anyone
I mean,
get sick?
like ridiculous shit that would get people into arguments in my family. That's what I told him. I said, but you're more than welcome. Come to Macon and you'll love the city. And he's all excited. He's going to finish his schooling. As soon as he does that, he's coming down here. You know, he had issues too. He was telling me.
It's by
Same
the way-
family members, by the way.
Oh yeah. By the way, it's 8:16 a.m. in Macon, Georgia right now, Eastern Time. 8:16 a.m. in Macon. It's 56 degrees outside, somewhat sunny with a high of 71 and a low of 38. So those who are out there having a good time, I'm going to have to go back home and get me a jacket, just like Herb got on, or a long shirt. And
Take a
put
break.
one on. Yeah, put a jacket on because it's going to get cold tonight.
Yes, welcome Benton, Ohio. I bet it's cold out there. Shit, you guys had snow, I think. That whole Midwestern, they were like getting like 10 inches already. And
And
I'm
it's just
sure
November.
the weather is horrible. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's 19
92,
degrees.
20 degrees in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
That Alaska or Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
Anchorage, Alaska. AK. Yeah, it's A.
Alaska's AK?
Yeah.
Should be AL.
That's Alabama.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying. I had a friend who worked at the post
I
office.
know,
He
who
just
came up
became
with
into
these abbreviations is beyond
the
me.
post office.
No wonder. Go figure. Anyway, no, that's great. In Anchorage, Alaska, we're being beamed across the universe over like a meteor into Alaska.
Yes.
A lot of meteors fall in Alaska. You notice that?
Yeah, that was
Must be the iron ore, maybe. What do you think?
possibly or
Yurak will know the shit. He
Well,
knows
that-
everything. Yurak,
The iron or what?
the rock,
iron ore.
iron ore, not whore, ore.
O-R-E.
Yeah, the iron whore's up there. No, it must be something. It attracts a lot of, it's either in Russia or in Alaska.
Okay, I guess the thing is, maybe it's because Alaska is really, really close to the actual, well, not geographically the North Pole, but the magnetic North Pole, which is somewhere around Canada, I presume.
Yes.
Unless I'm wrong. And if that's the reason why, that's probably why, because magnets attract iron. And if there's going to be some meteor showers, I'm quite sure it's going to cross Alaska somewhere around the way to that magnetic North Pole.
Yeah. ATT, I appreciate it. People will join the room. It's only early. We're only 18 minutes in the show. People know that we warm up the first hour. Second hour goes a little better. Third hour, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
After a while. I kind of just roll along. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried. These are the things that people worry about. Oh my God, we're not getting busy. Sometimes a small growth is better. You get your core group and this album.
Oh man.
So chill out, enjoy the time. You're here, and that's all that's important to me, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
That ATT's still around. ATT's always around. That freaking company hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
They're always like morphing into something else.
Yeah,
What are they now?
I know they used to be a monopoly. Then they broke up, and then all of a sudden they started buying
the baby bells, and then
all the baby
that
bells
went to hell.
And it became,
what is it now?
And then they got all the cell phone companies. I think T-Mobile or some one.
See, Scorpio's here.
Yeah.
And Ben in Ohio. Ben, you didn't answer the question. How is it up in Ohio? How is the weather there? How are the weathers there? Everybody put up their weather. I want to know. I want to know what shit you guys are sitting in today.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if Ed got the video, at least from Urak's link, about meteor showers, but it wasn't in Alaska. Ironically, it was actually somewhere in the West.
Yeah, there's a little video that he just put up.
Urak, he had a link about a meteor shower.
A meteor shower that was going across the West. Why don't you read the story?
Yeah. There was a meteor shower, lights up night sky across the West. This was actually, I think, around like maybe last night.
LA is coming
from Los Angeles, from CBSLA.com. It says residents from around the Southland reported seeing a large light streak across the night sky yesterday, or last night, matter of fact. Authorities tell CBS 2 and KCAL 9 that the object appeared to be a meteor. And if the video is working, you can probably be able to see that video, or you can click onto the link.
I'll get it in a second. It takes a couple minutes though.
Yeah. But unless you already clicked onto the link yourselves, basically it just shows the meteor or meteors that was actually showering down, and it said that many calls came into law enforcement agencies from Riverside, La Quinta, and Rancho Mirage. CBS 2 and KCAL 9, KCAL 9 also have reported the sightings all throughout Orange County, which I think is in Los Angeles. I'm not mistaken.
So they had a meteor shower.
There you go.
Now, okay, here we go. We got a video. Thank you, Urak.
Serene Branson is live at the Griffith Park Observatory, where the sightings caused a lot of excitement tonight. Serene.
They sure did cause a lot of excitement, Sharon. There are a lot of people here at the Griffith Observatory tonight, and a few of them actually saw these fireballs in the sky. First, we want to give you a glimpse of that security video again that captures the image of that fireball. It appears to be the meteor. You see that flash and then streaking right after it. Now, skywatchers here at the Griffith Observatory say that they were surprised by the brief show. We were out there looking at downtown, and then out of nowhere there were a lot of flashes, and then what turned into like a yellow ball of fire, and then it just went out.
I just saw a bunch of flashes out of the corner of my eye, and then like a big bright light, and then I was like, what was that? I figured somebody was taking some pictures or something, and I was like, no, it was bigger than that. It was in the sky, and so I figured meteor.
Fireballs like that happen when rocks from outer space, little chunks of asteroids called meteoroids, come flying into the Earth's atmosphere and burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. It's kind of like when you think of astronauts coming back in re-entry and there's all that heat. Same idea, a rock coming through Earth's atmosphere will literally burn up, and that's what you're seeing.
Now that was Dr. Laura Danley. She is the curator of the Griffith
I don't know.
Observatory here. And as
I'm
she
starting to think
mentioned,
they know
that
more
these
than
do
they're
happen
telling
from
us.
October to November. That's usually the best time you can see these fireballs in the sky that are part of the Toward meteor shower. And she says that we could expect to see more over the next week or so. For now, we're live from the Griffith Park Observatory. Serene Branson, KCAL 9 News.
Our team coverage continues now.
Thank you, Ed. That's
Thank you,
good.
Ed.
That's a video. So it was serious. It made news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say.
Yes.
They say they got all these gadgets up there that would tell us, but the point is, this would be like a bad movie, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a meteor heading to us. That's it. The end
It
of the
came
world
from
is
outer
coming
space. Yes. The
in
meteor.
3 days.
It came from outer space.
I don't know if the world can handle it.
Yeah.
We can handle a government shutdown, but I don't know about everything shutting down.
Yeah, meteor, they'll shut a whole lot of stuff down. More than EBT cards, I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
Well, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
We're living off this internet.
Why
It's
don't
going to
you,
cut off everybody from everything.
Explain that picture.
This is, by the way, DS, this is what my beautiful dog has done to the beautiful bed that you brought. And
He said it
this is
tasted
what I
good,
woke
though.
up to this morning. And
Well,
so
it
he's
was-
in jail.
It was tasty.
It was tasty. The
Yeah,
dingo
he
ate
ate his bed, not my bed. His
The
bed.
dingo ate his
That's
bed.
the bed that we just got. So now I've got to, and this is a dog that's getting already biscuits and milk bone.
You guys look
This
like
may
cats.
be one of the reasons why they beat him up.
Hang
Okay.
from your head. Where you
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna be doing, walking him.
Well, he needs a chew toy too. That's what he needs.
And
Something to chew on.
now I've got the crate thanks to DS, and now he's gonna be trained. So
Mm-hmm.
now I'll take the time to know what the hell to do.
Yes.
So and you're right, ATT. We're gonna walk him every day. He's got to be walked.
Mm-hmm.
He lays there like a lump.
No doubt about it.
You don't want a sickly dog.
That's true.
All right, what do we got here?
Yes, I have some news, local news, well, I guess state news, I should say, Atlanta. Mark F. Giuliano, the special agent in charge of the Atlanta division of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, has been named the Bureau's new deputy director. As deputy director, Giuliano is second in command behind FBI Director James B. Comey. He will oversee all FBI domestic and international investigative and intelligence activities, as well as a number of other functions, serving as acting director in the director's absence. Giuliano will assume these duties on December 1st, next month, when current Deputy Director Sean M. Joyce retires from the FBI after 26 years of office. And
Wow.
yeah.
All right,
That's it.
well, we got a new FBI director, which means what? Is he Republican?
Well, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't say whether his political ties are.
Wow.
But it says he has been in charge of the Atlanta division since August of 2012. Before that, he was an executive assistant director of the National Security Branch, and before that, assistant director of the Counterterrorism Division at FBI headquarters in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
So he has.
Well, they're gearing up. We
Big
got Georgia, state of Georgia, is very central right now for pro-growth. It's growing.
Yes, it's
Georgia,
Hey,
for some reason.
like I said, you're either
Atlanta's
growing.
growing. It's slow as hell, but it's growing.
Yeah, it's growing. It was even slower here in Macon, but it's growing. But hey, it's like I
From
said.
what I gather, New York is a madhouse over there. Everybody wants to get the hell out of there.
But why?
From
I'm saying,
because it's just too much. It's overwhelming now.
it's too big or what?
It's too big, too busy. Everything comes at you all at once. You gotta, it's a lot. It's a lot of stress. You gotta get on the subways in the morning. You gotta get on a bus to go to work. You gotta, always be out with the people all the time. After a while, you just want some shoulder room. Get away
Some
from
elbow room.
so many
Okay.
damn people. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming here. I can't walk out the door without getting honked or somebody say hello.
Of course.
Something always happens. Imagine tenfold. You got people living next door. You got people living upstairs. You got people living downstairs. You got people living over here. You got people living right across the street in a small little street that's like this with one car. And there's another building with another 50, 60 people in it. They all hang out. Their windows and their fire escapes are on the stoops. So it's like going into Ringling Brothers every day. It's like a
Wow.
circus.
It's a circus. It's a
Swear to
madhouse.
God.
Wow.
Go to New York. You see what I'm talking about. It may sound like I'm over embellishing, but I'm not. Yeah, it may sound passionate, but it's not over embellishment at all. To say what I'm saying.
Well, I do it.
Yeah,
There's something
without
else.
getting a finger. No, back home, or you can't walk out the door without getting a finger. Where's that? A good time. Is that in New York or Jersey?
Jersey. I knew something you were going to say.
Now Chris Christie is now considered presidential material. Here's what I'm afraid of. What I'm afraid of is that lap surgery that he got is going to pop open and he's going to die. Because what would happen if that shit just busted open
What?
on him? He's got this lap belt around his stomach now. Not that it's done much help, but believe it or not, he's lost weight. He has that in his heart. I mean, rather in his stomach.
Yeah.
Well, that's
yeah.
his heart too. But in his
Well,
stomach.
near it, yeah.
What would happen if he's running around Air Force One and all that air pressure with the planes and moving around and he's got to move that big lug body around like Rupert Studdard. Oh, by the way, Rupert Studdard, you heard he was thrown off The Biggest Loser, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't make the cut. Some of these guys just won't get skinny. So what if he stays that way with that lap thing, and then that shit busts open one day? Do you think he'll die from that?
Well, if he tries to eat something, probably so. But I'm just saying, if it was on around his heart, he would die instantly, or something like that, or near his kidneys, or something like that.
Well, you never know. Look at what happened with Cheney. That guy got like more heart surgery than anybody on the planet,
and yet he still keeps on
and he's
going.
still around.
Like the Energizer Bunny,
Like I always say,
an
only the
evil
good die
Energizer
young.
Bunny.
Only the good die young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris Christie, going back to him, he's going to be now a contender for the White House.
Yeah, before
Against
the Republican
Hillary
Party.
Clinton.
Yeah.
See, what do we got to choose from? I want some fresh blood, no?
Well, you like I said, you still have the two other candidates who are Latino descent, because they're going to try to use the minority card. The Republicans will try to. I mean, like I said, they had Marco Rubio, unless he's still willing to do that.
Yeah.
Or like I said, they have Prescott Bush, who's basically who's the uncle. I mean, not uncle, the nephew of George W.
Well,
Bush.
he's way down the line. He's not even showing up in politics. We're talking Jeb Bush.
Yeah.
Jeb Bush.
But Prescott Bush is old enough. I mean, he is 35. That is the minimum age to run
But he
for
hasn't
president.
run for anything. Where the hell is he? The only thing that we know is that he's the Mexican-looking kid in the family.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, he is Mexican.
What's the big
well,
deal
half
about
Mexican
that?
anyway. Well, the thing is, he may be able to get a lot of Latino votes
Yeah.
in the Republican Party. That's why I'm guessing.
If he gets it for his uncle.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That is if Jeb Bush runs, or or if he decides to run himself, because he is old enough to. Last time I checked,
I put no more Bush family. We already had the father and the son and
yeah,
all those people.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the same,
a whole lot
I
of
feel kind of
nepotism.
almost the same way with Clinton. Like, okay, I wouldn't mind seeing Hillary Clinton as a president because she would be straight up. I think.
Yeah, and the thing is, just like what people like saying, well, there's no racism. They can't be prejudiced against Obama. I guess you will definitely see some straight up sexism. I guarantee you that. If Obama's get you're going, oh man, they're gonna go.
Oh, they're already doing it.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're gonna see a whole lot of big time blatant sexism if Hillary does run for office and does
it was
win
there
2016.
before. It was there before. They're
Yeah.
just gonna rehash the same shit. They
It was just
locked
covert.
it up before. Yeah.
It just covert, but when it happens, this is going to be just full blown out, just like outbreak or something,
See, the thing is with Hillary Clinton that what I appreciate about her, I'll tell you the two things I appreciate about her and the three things I don't. Okay. One that I like about her is that she's a strong, capable thinker. She's good. She's a good thinker. She's strong in her opinions, and she gets them across in a way that her husband could. And number two, that she was a good wife to Clinton, despite what everybody says. She put up with his shit. So she was a good team player, is what I'm saying. In regard, down to the bare bones. Yeah.
Yep.
I know, she didn't do too good at the inquest. That's one of the bad things, yeah. I didn't like the way she flipped that off. What if she went off? Whatever is the reason. It sounded like me somewhat. A little bit too...
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but just
Yeah,
flying
whatever.
off the handle.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so she didn't do too good at the inquest. Both parties do always run crappy politicians. We had it here. We had one of the reasons why our percentage was so low in voting is because everybody was kind of disinterested in the end, right?
Right.
Although I am happy that we're going to continue building Macon. Bib Splosh Recreation is going to be included, which means those pools that we had trouble with this past year, that they were closed, they didn't open, they're going to be worked on. And $190 million in Splosh money in 2011, $39 million has already been dedicated. And they're tearing up right near the hospital. Construction crews replacing Tatnall Square Park tennis court. My question is, why didn't the college pay for that?
The college?
If the college
You
is
mean
always
Mercer?
using Tatnall Square,
Well, yeah, that's true.
why didn't they put the money up? Why is it coming out of Splosh money?
I don't know. I guess
But
it's
tennis courts.
I guess it's because it's more of a city. Well, for the tennis courts over at Tennis Square Park, I guess it's more of a city thing, community thing, rather than a college thing. Since,
Well, the tennis
since
court's
public
open
can
to
be used-
anybody.
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
open to
that big?
anybody.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
why. That's why the Mercer did.
Yeah.
Because if Mercer used it, then it would be just a private owned. Then it'll be most.
Now
of the
they're
houses.
also looking at deferred maintenance costs. So they gotta keep the infrastructure up. Now that Bibb County took over all the recreational areas, all the pools and parks and so on, and that has to be now maintained. So I guess they're gonna start doing that since
Right.
they have not been maintained. And for infrastructure repair in the county's aging facilities, officials refer to the necessary repairs as deferred maintenance, changes that should have been made years ago, but were put off by Macon or Bibb County because of the lack of funding. So
Yes.
now that the money's there, they're going to start doing it.
Right.
3 of the pools had maintenance issues that prevented them from first opening up this past summer. And Splosh money was being used at that time to complete the work. So let's see. By the way, to finish this story up, all the county's recreational fields and gyms that need them will be getting new scoreboards because of SPLOST, and that work will be done by March.
Wow.
So they're upgrading everything. That's good. That's what we need.
Definitely upgrading. I do want to give a retraction, or at least a correction, I should say. I said his name was Prescott Bush, but actually Prescott. Actually, his middle name is George Prescott Bush. George P. Bush. He's named after both his grandfather and his great grandfather, Senator Prescott Bush, and George H.W.
Okay,
Bush.
and what's he doing politically now?
Politically,
What's he doing now?
right now for he wasn't
What's the intro?
born April 26, 1976. He's age 37, so he's just old enough to run for president. Because you have to be a natural born citizen and be 35 years of age. Be 35 years of age and be a native born citizen. He's an attorney, U.S. Navy Reserve officer, real estate investor, and a politician. He's a candidate for the commission of the Texas General Land Office in 2014. He's the eldest son of former governor of Florida, Jeb Bush, the nephew of former Governor George W. Bush, and the grandson of former President H.W. Bush, and he's named for his great-grandfather, Senator Prescott Bush, who was...
he's too young. Yeah. Honestly, he's got his uncle.
He's still got Similac, right? Similac,
yeah,
bro.
he ain't got no... What the hell was he? He was a politician doing what?
He's running for the commission of Texas...
Running, or did he win?
He's a candidate. Actually, he's a candidate.
He's a candidate. So he hasn't won an election yet.
So he hasn't won.
They're not going to say, let's take this guy that has not won an election yet and make him a presidential candidate after what happened with Obama, with him being really in the Senate only like 2 years. They'll rip him apart because he's never even held elected office. He'll never get there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah.
He's got to win his stripes.
You're right. You definitely got to.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Yurak. Macon Film Festival is hosting a free outdoor screening of Sleepy Hollow. Thursday night at Channel Square Park. The movie will be shown at 6:30 at the park located near Mercer University. Yeah.
I'm guessing if it's going to be the movie, I'm guessing it's not the TV show. It's basically the one that Tim Burton did with Johnny Depp playing Ichabod
Yeah, is that
Crane.
the one you're at? The Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, not some show that's on television? Oh, the movie.
Okay, the movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
that should be fun.
Well, just want to make that.
They
clear.
should
George P.
be
Bush.
showing like Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. Those are great movies. Yeah.
Wow.
No. Actually, they should be showing Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, because Halloween's already left, so I'm just thinking.
Wow. No, that kind of brings both of them up. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of Halloween.
Oh, I gotta see that. There's a kid in a what?
Oh my goodness. This mom allowed her 7-year-old son, her kid, to dress up like a KKK member for Halloween. Faces angry backlash.
Oh, Lord.
Wow. Can you
Wow,
believe
is right.
this? I guess this pretty much qualifies as the wing dang doodle of the hour right there.
That poor kid. Wasn't Charlie Brown kind of like? He had a sheet.
He had a sheet and he had a whole lot of holes in his sheet, looking like a potato.
All right. So what happened?
Well, anyway, sometimes the mother really doesn't know best. It's basically the mom of a 7-year-old boy in Virginia.
Send that, Ty.
Yeah, send that
link.
story. We'll send that story later. Yeah, just
That's back.
yes, indeed. That's the
Okay.
wing dang do laugh. Jessica Black from Craigsville, from Craigsville, Virginia, is a mother of a 7-year-old boy, and she dressed him up for Halloween night as a Ku Klux Klan member. Says a little boy Jackson, who is 7 years old, asked if he could
Funny
dress
as
as a
hell.
member of the white supremacist group, so she decided to make him the costume. Miss Black says, "This is a family tradition."
She went all out. Look at that.
Yeah. But
She even got the little patch, like the
yeah, the little
grandma's
patch.
it.
Yeah, it's like, are you kidding me?
Good
Like,
costume.
jeez. Says my brother dressed up as a member of the KKK when he was in kindergarten and when he was 13. And did he get a butt whipping? I want to know. The people want to know. A reporter from WHSV asked Little Jackson why he decided to wear the controversial costume, but it was clear from his answer that he did not know the historical significance of the outfit or how offensive the clothing can be. His mother didn't appear to know any better, justifying her actions by pointing the blame squarely in her son's direction. I did tell him that if you do it, there's going to be people talking about you. There's going to be people saying bad things about you if when you wear it, she advised. And one of the neighbors says, not OKKKK. Okay, not okay with 3 Ks. Says Wendy Sprouse says the family are offending a lot of people by their actions, according to the story. And neighbors say they were shocked when they saw Jason's black costume and that his mother should bear full responsibility. When he learned of the costume, Jackson said he saw it in the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. Ms. Brown sees nothing wrong with the costume for one night a year, and her sons appear to be very happy, also despite the controversy she's stirring up. She reaffirmed her position by revealing the Ku Klux Klan still exists in Craigsville, Virginia. It's supposed to be white with white, black with black, man with woman, and all of that. That's what the KKK stands for. The KKK every year raises money to donate to the St. Jude's Hospital, she protested. The Miss Black said
Can you imagine getting your lawn burned with a guy who had a voice like that? Anyway, this story reminds me of a South Park episode, Cartman Justice Hitler. The principal made him a ghost costume, put Cartman look like the KKK.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Alright.
But I don't know, but that's kind of bad. See, that's kind of messed up. You're the mother. You should know better, and you're going to I want just a KKK. And you're going to say, okay, really? Come on now.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think having that racist costume, a KKK costume, is appropriate, inappropriate, or you don't really have an opinion one way or the other, which I doubt. Yeah, poor taste. Okay.
Yeah, very poor taste.
All right.
Bingo, you're right. Bingo.
And well, I guess that puts it in a nutshell.
Oh yes, no question about it.
Poor taste. Get the fuck over. Yeah, you're right.
Poor taste, get the
Get
F over it. Yes.
It is her rights, but she had no common sense. The kid is too young to know what his mom is doing.
Yeah. And yes, that's the thing. What I'm probably more ticked off is not only that she knows better, and
They say start them young.
yeah.
That's why
And
they
then,
like
and then she's gonna put the blame on her son. Woman, you the adult. Act like one.
She put
Jeez.
the blame on her son, saying that he wanted it,
Yes.
and she obliged.
Yes. See,
I don't know. Hey, would she do that to the kid if the kid was molested? Well, he wanted it. The kid wanted to get molested by that guy, so I let it happen.
Say when you act like a jackass, the well of jackassity just flows like an open stream. I'm just saying. I know that's not a real. I know jackassity is not a real word, but let's just, for the sake of conversation, say it is.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, so
The level of jackassity.
I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. This is why America's going to where it's going, dude. I mean, you look at these people. They're billions and billions of Walmart, overweight, overindulged,
Land
spoiled,
whales.
shallow people.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. You look at these concerts. You look at everybody. We live in total mayhem, chaos.
Wow.
There are some little pockets of sanity somewhere. I just wish I could find them. But, yeah.
Well,
This is what the world is, guys.
yeah.
A total nut house.
It's a madhouse. It's a madhouse. While you're on costume check, I already checked. I already got it sitting ready. Side Bookie. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and tell since we're talking about.
All right, ATT, put it on the main site so I can pick it up.
Yes. Matter of fact, I already got the link of that KK Halloween kid with the KK costume already.
With the South Park?
Well, not the South Park, but from the other story about the
the real one.
Yeah, the real one. But speaking of crazy costumes, what Saibugi sent me, and thank you for the article.
Yeah, he says he thinks it'll gel together, baby. Keep it going.
Oh yes. Teens burn Twin Towers costume causes outrage.
Oh my God.
How about this back to
Yeah.
back wing dang doodles right here?
Oh my Lord. Oh, here we go. Twin Towers.
Yes.
That's tacky.
That's very tacky right there. Not
Do they have
this.
people like falling off of it? I want to see it.
Well, these
Yeah,
two
they do.
These two college students.
Lord.
My. Two British teenagers had an unconventional Halloween costume last week, the Burning Twin Towers. Amber Langford and Annie Collins, 19-year-old students from the University of Chester, dressed up as the Twin Towers for Halloween. The pair donned American flags on their heads and wore tower outfits featuring planes, explosions, smoke, and people jumping to their deaths from the upper floors. Langford and Collins won the Best Dressed Award at Rose's nightclub in Chester that night and received about $240 in shopping vouchers and gift cards. Can you imagine that?
So they won.
Yeah,
That's something.
they won. They wore a tacky ass costume and won. Both the University of Chester and Chester Students Union utterly condemned the appalling photos which have been shared on social media, said the University of Chester and Chester Students Union in a joint statement. Both organizations have begun an urgent investigation into the circumstances around which these images have been taken off with a view to taking the necessary action. The teens said in the statement, "We never meant to be offensive, but we apologize if any offense was caused. The idea was to depict a serious modern day horror that happened in our lifetime and was not intended as a
so much of
joke."
Whoopi Goldberg. I swear to God, I hate you when you do that.
Yes.
As much as I hate Whoopi.
Yes, although the behavior is insensitive. I really think it really reflects the important task that we have to educate future generations, said Mary Fetchett, founding director of the Voices of September 11th.
Yeah.
Not focusing on the horror of the day, but about the wonderful lives of those victims who died.
Well, listen.
This is from Anna Pan from ABC
That
News.
was a great story. Twin Towers, dress up. You know, remember Thurman Munson? Remember Thurman Munson? He died in a plane crash. He was a great baseball player some years ago.
Yeah.
He died. He was a home run hitter for the Yankees. And he died on a plane many years ago. I remember somebody came in dressed up as him with blood all over him and an airplane around his neck. And it was supposed to be Thurman. He won the tackiest costume. That costume was pretty damn tacky, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it was very poor taste. You thought the KKK was in poor taste. My goodness, these are. I mean, granted, I'm not putting. I'm not saying that the 7-year-old Scuffer, but he's under the watch of his mother, which basically dropped the ball on that. But these are two 19-year-old girls, well, 19-year-old young women, because when you're 18, you're supposed to be considered an adult. They should have known better. They knew about 9/11, unlike the kid who didn't know about the KKK. Mm-hmm. They knew better. So, I'm just saying, you know.
Well, neither or. They're both ridiculous.
Yeah, they're both ridiculous. No question about it.
I mean, why don't we just start having like a costume of rape victims or like really gruesome stuff.
Well, actually, some people have done it before.
I'm sure
Matter
they
of fact,
have.
Yeah, and
have a
people,
Rihanna costume. Mm-hmm. All beat up and pulped up. I'm sure there were people doing that too.
Yeah. Well, that and plus Tina Turner when she was beaten up by Ike and stuff, they did stuff like that. Some even dressed. You remember Prince Harry caused a lot of flack when he dressed up like a Nazi. It's like, you know.
Yeah, that's true, Nikal. It would be more horrible if two Muslims were.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
My goodness,
They would have
been in flames for real. They would have burned them alive. Somebody would have got a blowtorch or something. Then for real. If that would have.
Hold up, the USA knew about the IRA and they supported them to 9/11. And then terrorists were bad. Sounds like a poem, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. America's been in all sorts of shit. I mean, you know.
Yeah, all your politicians not adults, of course they are. But they think they can just think no one they're not going to get caught like people didn't know about George W. Bush's dad. Prescott Bush actually helped out Hitler during World War II, but that's all.
And be honest, to be honest, Sabuki, really not trying to sound like like the status quo around here, but everybody knows that these politicians are not adults. These are guys. They got old. They're little boys. They got old. That's it.
They're also
and they have
overprivileged,
somebody. They spend some time in books and education and bullshitting with each other all day in a room. It's kind of like what happens in the locker rooms now. I mean, you got these big mouth guys around, and people bully. It's a whole, dynamic
Exactly.
that's happening worldwide. You know, men are just like little boys that got old. The jovial guys, and look what's happening with that Toronto mayor. Who do they compare him to? James Farley. Chris Farley, man.
Chris Farley, because he was so fat.
I mean,
Chris Farley with a little bit of the
they're all
DC
jokes.
mayor.
They're all like characters.
Yeah.
They're all just characters in a play that they're trying to play out. I mean, I know this kind of shit. Influence. A guy like Paul Ryan used to be looked at as a radical. Now it's the other guy, Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who are they going to put up there now? After Ted Cruz. Boy, he takes the beat.
Yeah.
He shut down the government.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So, I don't know. The IRA did a lot of violence to innocents. I boogie the civilians know that. That's true. I mean, they were both doing it. But I think every time I heard a bombing, it was always the IRA. I didn't hear the Catholic League.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Speaking of some politics, at least on a national as well as a state scale, I just got this one from breaking news right here from Christina Cass, Associated Press, that Jason Carter, the grandson of former President Jimmy Carter and a state lawmaker from Atlanta, said early this morning he plans to run for governor of Georgia next year.
And he's a cool guy. If you know a little bit about him, he's he's
Yes.
good guy.
Very good guy. He's energizing Democrats coming off a 2010 election, which the GOP claimed every statewide office. Georgia's decision resets the 2014 race as Republican Governor Nathan Deal seeks re-election. Deal already faces two primary opponents and will now have to deal with a Carter campaign that is likely to grab national attention, be well-financed, and criticize the governor's ethics and leadership. Carter says concerns about education and the economy were at the center of his decision to run.
There you go.
Which I hope so, because we know
Jimmy Carter's grandson.
Yeah,
running for.
Yes, he's 38 years old and was first elected to the Georgia Senate in May 2010. Matter of fact, earlier this year and late last year, there was a lot of stuff going on with the teachers and principals. They were like fired and stuff because they were basically forging
Everything happens
answers.
In Florida now.
Yeah, well,
Florida's a nut place.
Well, we were talking about but this is in Georgia. I'm talking about the teachers and principals of some schools in Atlanta. Because
DeKalb County.
The grades, the grades of these aptitude tests and stuff, scholastic tests. It's really it's just a one big pool of hogwash right there.
So what's that have to do with him?
Well, the thing is about education. Maybe we'll get these things right. Maybe we'll have better teachers and principals who will be able to inspire these students to become good, not just as students, but just people. Because they won't. In other words, they won't. If they were good and they have good integrity, they won't have to forge answers on these students' tests and stuff just to make so they're able to have more funding for their schools.
Well, they get caught up in the politics. I mean, teachers sort of just love their job, love what they do. It's teaching kids.
Yeah.
But they got to deal with each other and all the other bullshit that goes with it. I don't know. I don't think money's going to make a difference. I think it's more about ethics and morals.
Yeah.
That wartime is Wartown is talking about. Ethics and morale.
Yeah.
I guess the two go hand in hand. What's their ethic? Why are they teaching? Why did you become a teacher? Did you become a teacher because you want to live in some fantasy world with these kids and become like one of them? live out your life close to kids, and you don't know how to hang around with adults? Are you there to teach the kids, to give them self-worth, and give them a good education? What are you there for? A lot of these people are there for the money. Once you're there for the money, screw you. Mm-hmm. You got what we got, failing school. Not about the money. If you want to teach, go and teach. Do it because you like doing what you're doing. Don't do it because it's the only way to make money. It's ridiculous. That's what we got to weed out. Got a lot of problems in education.
Sabuga says, this is why Brits don't see 911 as a big thing, as we got bombed for you. Yeah, I've been getting bombed since World War I. I mean, World War II, during the Blitzkriegs, during the London Blitz, during World War II. We know about that. I mean, when was the only time America actually been bombed, at least by an enemy, other than during the Civil War when we were fighting each other? I think twice during World War II, during Pearl Harbor, which a lot of people say that might have been an inside job, supposedly. I don't know how, but... And then we know about 9/11, which happened, which is the first time they were
claiming there's an inside job to that.
Which people, and this is the first time they should have been hit on the continental United States, not just someplace, some island like on Pearl Harbor or some little territory. It's actually on the mainland. This is the first time been hit on the mainland.
Yeah.
Obviously,
ATT, good point. Answer to bad schools and teachers, allow school vouchers. Let the parents of kids in terrible gang-controlled schools send their kids to schools without gangs. But wouldn't that just be transporting the problem? It's like, wherever you go, there you are, so to speak. Wherever you put them, there they will be.
Yeah, I mean, unless their children are the gangbangers.
Well, that's what I'm
members.
saying. They're gonna be if they're in a gang school, no?
Yeah.
I guess that's his point.
If they haven't, I mean, if they
bring the gang over there.
Yeah, hopefully they're not in the gang.
There's issues with that too. Policing. How do you police this? How do you have a competent adult who's respected amongst these kids? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do you create a culture within a school where respect is central? I mean, there are schools that are doing that. I'm not saying they're not. There are plenty of schools that are doing that. Mm. But I'm saying, is it also a distraction in the school in terms of the kid feeling like they can express themselves and, reach their potential? Is that encouragement being instilled in these kids, other than just a rote? Kind of like being in a welfare office all day.
Well, I guess that's hopefully what
like stuck in paperwork and
hopefully
shit.
Hopefully Jason Carter will do that when he will talk about that when he runs for governor next year. And we're one and done. 1 hour done. 2 more to go.
Well, a lot of yous out here have kids, and so the dealio. You deal with this issue every day.
Right.
There's your kid.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys got all your kids in good school.
Yes.
It's important.
It's 9 o'clock right now. You're watching the Morning Roast live.
We'll be back.
Yes, we'll be back. Don't touch that remote or computer mouse. We'll be back.
Yeah.
And we are back. We are back.
Yeah. Wow, what a mystery with that kid. It's been terrible.
Very, very much so.
I still have my suspicions, but this thing has been botched from the beginning. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. I think there may have been a mat that was open. There was a fight that ensued. Mm-hmm. They beat him up, rolled him up, and shoved him in the corner, and then threw the shoe in the end. It landed on top of the rug.
Right.
And they walked away. And they should be questioning everybody on that film. Every kid has to be brought in.
Yes.
And that's a good start. I don't think they even did that. Wow. They botched it. Then they filled his... never mind that they filled his body over newspapers. The hell happened there? All his organs and all that they threw out. I mean, you talk about absolute total disregard for a human being. They handled this kid from the beginning like shit.
I know. It's just
Yeah, it's not only a sad story, ATT, as you say, rightfully so, but it's insane. It's not normal. This isn't the way humans are supposed to behave. But somehow we hit that extreme. You know, well, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Whatever. That's what the people say.
Yes.
Involved in all this shit. They didn't take the time out to figure out what happened to this kid. It's almost like he was like, oh, it's just another stupid ass kid.
I mean, literally and figuratively, just sweep it under the rug.
Kid that dies.
Yeah, exactly. Just like they did, just like with Junebug, just like with Oscar Grant and all the other people who were killed by gunshot wounds. Yeah.
By the way, Cain did kill Abel with a big rock. There you go. Murder been on earth since the beginning.
Yeah.
If a brother could do a brother, yep. Kill a brother. I mean, even in the scriptures, ATT, you see that God says that, it is great to be together in brotherhood. It's like pouring oil, being anointed with oil, and so on. But at the same time, it also says that a brother is treacherous and evil and conniving because of what happened with Abel and Cain and Abel. You know, from the beginning, brothers would kill each other. Yeah. So I guess that's really the gut and the gut of our being. And that's why we need Jesus and God, because he says, no, he's your brother. Don't do that. Not right. Not right. Yeah, I'm talking about brothers again. Yeah. Choose those around you carefully to prevent betrayal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful.
I mean, look at Judge Judy. Most of the time, those people are family on there.
Yeah.
My cousin stole my $2,000 and crashed my car.
Yeah.
Poor Judge Judy. She has to sit there with all the shit and try to determine.
Trying to getting caught up in some mess and stuff. Speaking of some mess, by the way, there was, this past weekend they had the Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville, Florida. There was a school bus theft ring that was busted there this is Jacksonville. Investigators have arrested a man who they say was involved in an elaborate theft ring operating in Northeast Florida and South Georgia. The Florida Times Union reports investigators tracked 2 stolen North Florida school buses to Gainesville after they found 2 other buses stolen in Georgia outside of Jacksonville Everett Bankfield during the annual Florida-Georgia football game last Saturday. On Monday, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested 44-year-old Alfonso Bernard Rock on multiple counts of stolen motor vehicles and altered or removed tags. Officials say Rock is the owner of 95 South Tours and Transportation. They say the 2 buses stolen in Georgia last month were being used as shuttles during the football game. The other 2 buses were stolen in Flagler County in August. An investigation continues. And that's kind of really bad. People just stealing school buses and use them as bus shuttle rides to the Georgia-Florida game. I mean, just stole it, just like kind of bad, like when those 2 police officers last year stole a tractor. Oh my goodness.
Well, there you go. Drug room busted in Florida. There you go.
Yep.
Once again.
Stolen school buses.
More, man. By the way, some community activists in Valdosta, this was a story sent to me by, who sent it to me? By Wartown. Wartown. Is this the one you wanted me to read? Wartown, Valdosta activist says minority contractors not treated fairly. Some community activists in Valdosta say minority contractors are not getting a fair shake when new construction projects come to town. I'm hoping we don't have that problem here in Macon.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big issue right here.
Right.
Whether they're allowing minority contractors to come in. From what I gather, it's only a very few elite that are coming downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Same old money is what I'm saying. Robinson, whose son is Valdosta minority contractor, says Valdosta runs a good old boy system. Ugh, are you shitting me? They got that there too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Good old boy system.
We want to be able to include the decision making in our communities. There's nothing wrong with that, Robinson says. Valdosta City Manager Larry Henson says Goldberg is bidding on the contracts. It's open to anyone, and the winner is simply the lowest bidder. Yeah, but who's making that decision?
Who knows, man? Who knows? It's really, yeah.
So how do you get ahead?
Yeah, the
Minority contractors protest in New York City. They wanted some of that mafia cash. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's I mean that's been going on.
Contractors in New York. Yeah.
It's been going on for decades now. People trying to get a piece of the action, especially through the good old boy systems, is huge in the South. I mean,
here's the thing: this whole saving money shit. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. The problem is, if you know, it sounds like, remember the Towering Inferno, that old movie, The Towering Inferno, where the builder built the tallest tower at the time in the world. Of course, it was only one. We had the Twin Towers,
right?
But he built it with cheap material because he was trying to cut corners. That's what happened. When you cut, next thing you know, you build an inferior product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Organized crime has infiltrated the unions for years, I know.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
If not decades.
I know. You go to the hotel unions. Everybody's name is, Castillas, Castellano, or some other name that mafia name. Gambino. Who knows? It's all mafia over there.
Yeah.
They're still in there. That's bullshit. They cleaned it up. They got the guy that didn't murder anybody to run it. But he was still in the family.
Wow.
Still
that is
somehow connected.
Yeah.
Kind of like Frank Sinatra was, you know? Even though he wasn't in it, he was still connected.
Oh yeah, I think the Johnny Fontaine character in The Godfather was supposed to be loosely based on Frank Sinatra, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Supposedly, yeah.
They're all involved, all of them. They all prostitute themselves to everybody.
Yeah, if anyone who read the book, The Godfather, the novel, and before they read as well as seeing the movie, but read the novel, basically this guy is supposed to be in a war movie. Yeah. Johnny Fontaine, and this guy wouldn't let him be in the movie, and basically
who we talking about?
The Johnny Fontaine from the Godfather movie, and basically Don Vito Corleone, Marlon Brando's character, says, "I'm gonna talk to this guy, and you're gonna get that movie role. I'll talk to him tomorrow."
You sound like him.
Talk to tomorrow. Yeah, there's no way I'll be able to do it. They're gonna start filming next week. Hey, I'm gonna give one Alfie camera feels. You know, and you know about the horse head and all that. And basically, if you read the book, Johnny Fontaine gets the role as that army guy, as the soldier guy, and he wins Academy Award. Which is very similar to Frank Sinatra, who was also in a movie. I think I don't know the name of it. I want to say From Here to Eternity, or it was a war picture, a World War II picture. And Frank Sinatra won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Coincidence?
Who knows? By the way, Frank was an associate and godson of Lucky Luciano. Yeah.
Oh, From Here. Oh, so it is right. From Here to Eternity. Okay, yeah. He played the role of Maggio. He played a soldier in the movie, and he won an Oscar for that role. Oscar
Those were the
Mayer.
days.
Yeah.
Well, we got to deal with real life here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up for a point. You know, people want to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just can't. And sometimes you wind up a bigger loser if you didn't try.
Mm-hmm.
But
Questions
Ruben
didn't
Studdard was thrown off The Biggest Loser. R&B has been kicked off the reality dieting show for failing to lose 11 pounds in a week. That's a lot of weight. 11 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
The heavyweight former American Idol shed a massive 39 pounds in just 4 weeks on the show. But his team needed him to lose an extra 11 before Tuesday night's televised weigh-in. And he was asked to leave. The 35-year-old, who at his heaviest tipped the scales at 462 pounds, said, I worked really hard this week. I swam extra, I walked extra. He then added, this experience on the show is one of the toughest things I've been through. I've been through 2-a-day football practices. I've been through an American Idol experience. I've been through a lot of mentality and physically challenging experiences in my life. And this ranks right up there at the top. But he's determined to keep the weight off or lose more, revealing the show that he's given him an incentive. He needed to slim down, he stated. America, my voice may be sober, but the next time you see me, my body will be sexy.
Let's hope so. Because obesity is no joke, especially in the black community. There have been so many people, especially so many singers that have died, just fallen off the earth because of just being overweight.
Yeah.
I mean, Barry White, Vesta, Heavy D. I mean, these just from the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, if that's not.
Yeah, that's pretty
fluid.
amazing.
Yeah, Hero Man says,
You know-
Ruben loves the mashed potatoes too much. Jeez.
Yeah. Unless you have a medical condition, fattiness, or just laziness. Yeah, that's what some people think.
Brutally honest. I mean, harsh but true. Harsh but true.
Well,
I mean, 462 pounds. That ain't no water weight. That's some mass.
a lot of that is water weight. If they put him on a water pill to piss out all that water that he has in his body, I'm sure that he'll go through a lot of weight loss. But, you know, you're going to be pissing like a racehorse. They give you these white pills and make your bladder, you know, clear up and work better, and you piss more. You piss all day. Yeah.
What about crapping? Does it do anything about it?
No, they have to give him those pills, and then they give him a lot of potassium.
Oh, okay.
Pills to keep his energy and
I
his
had to take-
electrolytes up.
Yeah, I had to get potassium too.
Right.
'cause-
Yeah, you need your electrolytes up, but they start doing that. Doctors give you a pill that makes you piss all the time. It happens all the time. They could give that to Ruben Studdard. He'll piss most of his weight away because what he's got is too much water in his body.
Okay.
A lot of water. It's going to be a long time in hell before his body is sexy, believe me. Then you got to deal with all that skin
Well, yeah.
that hangs.
Yeah, because maybe he'll get on.
Gotta
what-
lob that
extreme,
shit off.
Extreme. What's that show on
Yeah,
NBC?
extreme surgery.
Yeah, extreme surgery. Yeah, because he got to get rid of the. He has to lose like 40% of his body weight in order to get that skin taken off of him. You know, extra skin dripping over him, something like that.
Yeah, all of you mentioned DB lived well.
Oh, you mean those that died? Yeah, Barry White, Vesta, Heavy. Well, yeah, they did. I mean, they're singers. What do you expect? But at the same time, though, I mean,
No, I mean, look, Chris Farley.
Chris
died
Farley
young.
lived well.
He was way overweight. He always looked bloated. You know, Jim Candy,
John
John
Candy.
Candy rather,
Yeah.
same thing, bloated.
Biggie, but he got shot, so he didn't die from like
Yeah, Biggie
heart
was-
attack.
yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he
that
was
doesn't
up there.
count. He was running around.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of folks. Yeah.
no, people that died from their condition. Who else? Famous people. John Belushi died of drugs.
Yeah, he
that
died
doesn't
of drugs.
count either.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
So did Chris Farley, but I think it was his weight that killed him.
Yeah, extra weight plus puts unacceptable pressure on the heart. Exactly.
Having too much weight is no good.
Yeah, talking about bad health. But speaking of bad health, I just got from the news ticker that new ABC anchor Elizabeth Vargas has gone public with her decision to enter rehab for alcoholic dependence, hoping it will give others the courage to seek help.
Elizabeth Vargas, she's the one that does
2020, yes.
2020, but doesn't she do Caught on Camera? Caught on Camera. Maybe not.
Possibly. I was trying to think about that show. What would you do? That's a guy who does that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Chris Farley being super fat and doing coke. Boom.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, fat and drugs don't not go. They don't mix. Yeah,
extra weight puts unexpected pressure on the heart. Yep.
It's like trying to put out a forest fire with gasoline, man. It's just gonna make it worse.
You know, that's what happened also to this guy from The Sopranos. You're talking mafia.
James Gandolfini.
Yeah, James Gandolfini. He was another one that struggled with weight. Mm-hmm. And in fact, they said that it may have been food that killed him. They gave him that heart attack because he was having some kind of a pastry.
He was having a pastry and some type of sausage or some meat.
Yeah.
Something and wine. And
couldn't
wine
handle
too.
it.
Yeah. Says John
And
Candy.
then there's that other reality show, that guy that eats all that food. You ever see him? There were times when I was like, dude, man, it's not worth the show. You stuff in your face like that, it's so unhealthy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Wartown, I can answer that for the UK. It's down to us going through rationing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, it's Hollywood.
It started with food stamps, folks.
Yeah, Hollywood and the music industry says says they get rich and get fat and they die young. Obviously, they die young, rich and fat.
You know, I think it's all a plot for Americans to lose weight, starve them, give them less food.
So maybe
throw away so much food.
So maybe the shutdown had some positive thing after all, basically, just to make us lose weight.
They're going to stick us all in a FEMA camp one day.
Possibly.
Give us that frozen food that comes there. You pour water on it, it turns into something.
Yeah. Speaking of
morning Snickers.
Trips, yeah. Speaking of finding a
welcome to our show.
Needle in a haystack. Here's something that you don't hear every day. Over a remarkable treasure trove of paintings, a secret trove of paintings worth nearly $1 billion.
$1 billion in artwork was found in some apartment in Munich.
Yes, seized by the Nazis in the 1930s and thought to have been destroyed in the war, have been found hidden between tins of rotting food in a shabby apartment, shabby flat.
Mm-hmm.
The 1,500 works by such masters as Picasso, Renoir, Matisse, and Chagall were said to have been lost to the flames when the Allied aircraft bombed Dresden in 1945. They had been taken from their owners, many of them Jewish, by the Nazis who regarded them Impressionists, Cubists, and Modernist pieces as degenerate and should be never seen again. Their astonishing rediscovery nearly 70 years later in a rundown apartment in Munich came about because of a chance customs inspection of a man returning to Germany by train to from Switzerland. The man turned out to be Cornelius Gurlitt, the reclusive son of Hildebrand Gurlitt, the art dealer who, in the run-up of the Second World War, had been in charge of gathering up the so-called degenerate art for the Nazis. Cornelius was not registered with the German authorities, had not worked, and had no apparent source of income, but raising suspicions among investigators who then uncovered the art cache hidden behind these years-old tins of noodles, beans, and fruit in his decrepit flat. His father had bought for a pittance many of the paintings he seized, and they had passed on to his son on his death. Cornelius then quietly sold a few, one at a time, to get money to live on. The works, sketches, oil paintings, charcoals, lithographs, and watercolors have not been publicly identified by investigators who are working to reunite them with the families of their rightful owners.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Saibuki says, I bet they're all fakes. Really, you wait. Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Sabuki, they found him 2 years ago. They just went public with it.
There was
Yeah.
one that was sold through an auction house for nearly $750,000 before the collection was seized. I guess this is during the Nazi regime.
All right, in the
One
30s
being-
and 40s,
yeah.
the Nazis wanted, before
Okay.
you go there, wanted world dominance and kill all non-Nazis. Now the Muslims want the same. Well, all right, go ahead.
And I was just thinking that it said it was not $1 billion, it was 1 billion pounds. It was 1 billion pounds. To know how much 1 billion British pounds in American money would be, that'd
No.
be $1.6 billion.
Somebody's going to keep that money.
Yeah, $1.6 billion.
Well, you know, when I grew up, I did some babysitting for one of my teachers, Dr. Elisafin, and his father was an old wartime Jewish art dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole art dealing thing is like very scary, very underground. Guys are all packing, and there's all these little secrets going on all the time. They do it with the diamonds. When I was down there watching them kind of, dealing with diamonds and jewelry, that whole world of jewelry and artwork and all that shit, you talk about mafia. That's like Jewish mafia. Jewish mafia. These guys are mean. Old men, they wear the yarmulkes and they wear all of that. They wear the big dreads and all that. Don't screw around with those guys. Guys are militant. We had the Lubavitchers in New York. We had a lot of race riots in New York with the Jewish community who ran out in the streets ready to go for it. They don't care. Yeah. Anyway, so that's really what it's like. A lot of this artwork shit that has to do that $1.6 billion. Believe me, there's a lot of hands already on that shit. That's not going to be easy to get rid of. A lot of people got to get paid for that. Yep.
Yeah,
A lot of
yes,
people.
indeed.
You talk about good old boy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That artwork was being protected in that apartment for how many years?
almost 70
Nobody
years.
knew anything about it. Bullshit.
About 70-some years, yeah.
Plenty knew about it. It's a lot of money. Yeah.
Speaking of good old boys, on a much lighter note, ABC last night had the CMA Awards, the Country Music Awards, last night.
Yeah.
The 47th CMA Awards, and they had a lot of winners that were around and who were.
Yeah.
They had some great.
Especially here in the South.
Yes, especially in the South. Of course, you know Keith Urban. He's a country singer, but he's from Australia. He's married to Nicole Kidman and one of the judges of American Idol. But here's a list of the people who won music event of the year, Highway Don't Care, which was with Tim McGraw, with Taylor Swift and Keith Urban. Music video of the year, Highway Don't Care, featuring Tim McGraw and Taylor Swift and Keith Urban. Single of the year, Cruise by Florida Georgia Line. Vocal duo of the year, Florida Georgia Line. Musician of the year, Mac McCanley. New artist of the year, Casey Musgraves. Album of the year, Blake Shelton's based on a true story. Blake Shelton, as you know, he's one of the judges on The Voice. So
Yeah. And
country
you
music
don't
get
know,
represented.
now you know.
Yeah. And entertainer of the year was to country legend George Strait. Male vocalist of the year went to Blake Shelton, and female vocalist of the year went to Blake Shelton's wife, Miranda Lambert. So congratulations to both of them. Congratulations to both.
All right. Well, Nikel's connecting us to his blog.
Oh, okay.
So others can chat in. We'll see how our audience grows. It's always good to have
It's that boogie, man.
you
Don't
guys
say
take the
that.
show and run with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I prefer Adam Levine. You know what? Who cares? Was
Who
the Country
cares?
Music Award like
His country music awards is very popular.
whatever? Who cares? The self-aggrandizement. Yeah, I sang that song real good. I get an award for it.
Well, isn't that what they have, Grammys?
The award is watching your audience clap and be happy for you.
You're right.
Really need a medal? Really?
True. But you want to get some type of recognition. I mean, besides
Whatever, exactly. Cowboys and rednecks.
Oh my God.
Cowboys and rednecks care of. You're right, Cyber. They do.
Well, at least I didn't say anything about
Well,
it.
speaking of Cowboys and rednecks, we're up to sports now. Right? Why don't you take care of the Cowboys and rednecks on our channel?
Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys.
While I go and warm up my coffee again. I leave Derek in his home.
Okay, thank you
Sports.
very much, Irving. It's now 9:35 a.m. Eastern time in Macon, Georgia. You're watching Macon the morning roast. You know what I mean. The morning roast with me doing the sports right now. It's 61 right now. It's getting a little bit warm, but don't let that sunny warm fool you. The high is going to be 71, but it's going to be 38 tonight. So definitely grab a jacket or two because it's going to be really chilly for those who are Macon watchers. Want to get down to sports? You know, NBA on TNT is going to have 3 games tonight. It's going to be the LA Clippers versus the Miami Heat at 7 p.m. At 9 p.m., you're going to have the Atlanta Hawks versus the Denver Nuggets, and at 9:30, I guess depending where you live, the LA Lakers are going to be playing against the Houston Rockets. So whatever part of the East Coast or West Coast that you're from in the United States, check your cable listings if you have TNT and see which game you'll be getting. More than likely, since we're on the East Coast and we're in Georgia, we're most likely to get the Atlanta versus Denver Nuggets. I heard that snoring. Anyway, and other news and other sports, we have the standings of the scores, what's going on right now. NFL, obviously, I forgot there's a brand new week number 9 of the NFL. There's going to be a Thursday night game on the NFL Network for those who have premium cable or satellite. Check your cable operator or satellite operator to see when this particular game is coming in your time, in whatever time zone you're in, of course. The Thursday night game tonight is going to be the Washington Redskins versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings versus Washington, which is going to be 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time on the NFL Network on satellite or DirecTV, Dish Network, or premium cable channel, depending on what cable or satellite provider that you have. Also, for college football, the Mercer Bears are coming back home for a blackout game versus Jacksonville. After back-to-back road wins, Mercer University football team returns home for an all-important conference game with the Jacksonville University as the Bears look to keep pace in the race for a Pioneer Football League championship. The Saturday afternoon game kicks off at 3 p.m. this Saturday afternoon this weekend and has been labeled as a blackout game, meaning the team will wear all black uniforms, home team that is, Mercer team, will wear all black uniforms, and fans are encouraged to dress accordingly, which means since they're wearing black, they want the fans to wear black as well. The Bears are in the midst of their second 4-game winning streak of the season and remain a half game back of Butler, Marist, and San Diego for the league, and even in the loss column with all 3 teams. The top offenses in the PFL go head-to-head Saturday.
Oh, he's not on the page? You're not on the page either.
It's like he's frozen. Basically, the 2 offenses go head-to-head Saturday with the Jacksonville Dolphins leading the conference at 41.4 points per game, and Mercer ranking second with 40.7 points a game. Okay. Yes, that's nice. That's very nice. So those who are watching the game, who are going to be here in Macon, check out, there's going to be a blackout game at home. The Mercer Bears will be at home versus the Jacksonville Dolphins. So definitely check that out Saturday, and we'll be seeing. Hopefully I'll be there Saturday. That is, if I'm not too busy with things that I'm already doing this past Saturday, like doing an interview with Anthony for my film, as well as after that I have to go to. Before that, I have to go to a mentorship program over at my church, and also after that the interview, and then I have to go to my cousin's mother's funeral, which is going to be 1 p.m. So there's a lot. I got a full house this Saturday. And thanks for the picture. Thank you for the picture, Ed. Yes, thank you. And we're back. Thanks for the distraction, Ed. And now that I'm finished with sports, Irving is back. Take it away, Irv.
She's cute.
Irving Collins.
She's pixie cute.
Yes.
Actually, she looks a little too young. Don't you think?
Is he locked up?
And where are you
He's
getting these
locked up
pictures
again.
from? Make sure, be careful.
They're of age.
I like a flag.
They're of age.
That girl looks like she's like 13, doesn't she?
Well, I wouldn't say 13, but
A lot of makeup.
maybe 18, 19 at best.
Alright.
So Boogie says, stop trying to distract him.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, they're not all tits and teeth, Saibuki. It's just one little...
She's pixie cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, a cutie patootie as
cutie, yeah.
as what's his name? Rosie
The kind
O'Donnell.
you go to jail for. She looks like jailbait to me.
You got me mistaken for R. Kelly or Jerry Lee Lewis.
No, really, I'm serious. That looks dangerous.
Are you still on
Dangerous
that?
territory.
Because I ain't got the picture up no more.
Of who?
You're frozen, probably.
Okay. Looks like you got a wing dang doodle of a story with Yasser Arafat.
Yeah, Yasser Arafat's death, political assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't know that? I always said he died pretty quickly.
Yes, he did.
What happened with him? The widow of Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
The guy with the that made that turban on his
Tablecloth
head,
hat, yeah.
famous.
Mm-hmm.
PLO or Palestinian organization. Says that she believed he was killed. I'm convinced it was a political murder, a political assassination.
Suha Arafat, yeah.
Yeah, told CNN. They wanted the guy rid of him.
Yes.
And she said, without saying who they are,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pointing fingers, but this plutonium came from a nuclear reactor.
Mm-hmm.
And the next step is to identify its source.
Polonium, excuse me.
Yeah. By the way, didn't he die from something like that? Some
See,
kind
supposedly
of
it said poison and something like that. Yeah, it was some type of food poison that they said.
Yeah.
And they said that the report is that the levels of polonium-210 measured in the personal effects and body tissues of her husband moderately support a proposition that he probably was died of polonium poisoning, according
Yeah, the Swiss Senate says
according
it
to his
identifies
remains.
significant quantities of polonium and biological stains on those belongings.
Well, from his body, which was exhumed from the tests and stuff, that they had high radioactive levels of polonium still in his body after he died back in 2004.
Well, if you remember in his heyday, he was so hated by the world, I guess.
Oh yes, he was hated by yeah.
Then he finally sobered up somewhat, became almost acceptable once he did that peace treaty.
Oh yeah.
Which was it really a peace treaty? They're
Not
still
really a
hating on
peace treaty,
each
yeah.
other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Anyway, now they're saying that he was poisoned.
That's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
And you're right. True, they're saying he was poisoned after numerous years. You would think they would at least test before they buried him. You know.
but
They couldn't do it with the kid here in Georgia, in Valdosta. Couldn't
That's
do
true.
it there. They threw out all his organs and filled them in newspaper. I mean,
yeah, that is kind of cold-blooded though.
Yasser Arafat started the whole culture of suicide bombing and plane hijack.
He started
the
PLO.
PLO,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Well, the Irish Republican Army was bombing too. I mean,
Well, yeah. But since PLO was exactly quote unquote European, you know, they caught more hell. So,
yeah,
so-
I guess.
Yeah.
It's more acceptable, I guess. Too much saying that poison. Yeah, I said that already.
Yeah,
All right,
poison.
well, there you have it.
Yeah, that's
Yasser
true.
Arafat presumed dead by poison.
From polonium,
What
radioactive
they freaking
polonium.
do? Like we didn't know. We knew that he died of something. I always said that.
Yeah.
He died young. It was just like what happened to that Reagan advisor. That all of a sudden the Iran Contra broke out, and next thing you know, a CIA director dies. Casey.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, during the Iran-Contra stuff.
Yeah, and that was another guy that was probably poisoned.
He was dropped like flies. Well, I don't know if he was poisoned. Probably from all that stress and cameras on, and the stress probably killed him because he was up in age. But talking about
It happened to Sandusky and this other guy, the coach. The coach died so conveniently.
yeah, convenient. Yeah. I don't think it was poison. He just felt. I mean, he was basically chased. I mean, he was he's been there for 60 years, 6 decades, been a coach there forever. He finally beat the record of getting the most wins for a college football coach. Broke the late Grambling coach Eddie Robinson's record of 408 wins by one game. He had 409 wins. Then bam, all this scandal came out right after he won his 409th win. Then they had no other choice but to fire him. Then all that stress and stuff being involved with, connected with Sandusky, that's what killed him. Then plus having retired. Yeah, because he didn't want to retire. That's why he was there for 60 years. He didn't.
Well, he would have died in his office then.
Possibly.
Well, what a way to go. That was sad. That was another sad story. No?
Very sad story. Because when you think about, if you've been there working there for a place for so long, it's a part of your life. You don't want to leave, and if you love it that much, it probably didn't even feel like a job to him. So when you leave that and he was fired, I mean, just that stress and the loneliness of not being able to do anything, no job at all that you had for 6 decades.
He was old already, no?
Well, yeah, he was in his 80s.
It was his time to sit down.
Yeah.
Go over there and sit down.
But he was afraid to sit down because he thought if he didn't have anything to do, he would just drop dead. And lo and behold, that's what happened. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, sports is as corrupt as politics. You follow the money, yeah?
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, speaking of sports, not to bring back sports, but it just happened to be somewhat, just a little bit sports related. The Olympic torch blasts into space for the first spacewalk. A Russian rocket soared into the cosmos this morning, carrying the Sochi Olympic torch and 3 astronauts into the International Space Station ahead of the first ever spacewalk for the symbol of peace. Video streamed by U.S. Space Agency NASA reported a flawless docking with the space station about 6 months after the craft blasted off from Russia's manned space facility
I gotta see
in
that.
Baikonur, Kazakhstan. The unlit torch for the 2014 Winter Olympics in the Russian city of Sochi, which will be this next year in February, is to be taken on a spacewalk on Saturday, then return to Earth on Monday, which will be late Sunday night, with 3 departing space station astronauts. The arriving crew members this morning were Russia's Mikhail Tyurin, American Rick Mastracchio, and Koichi Wakata of Japan. Once newcomers enter the space station following a long hatch opening process, the orbiting lab will have 9 people aboard for the first time since 2009. The Olympic torch will not burn on board the space outpost, of course. Because of lighting, it will consume the precious oxygen and pose a threat to the crew that they won't be able to breathe. The crew will carry the unlit torch around the station numerous modules before taking it out on the spacewalk. The Olympic torch was actually taken on board the U.S. Space Shuttle Atlantis in 1996 for the Atlanta Summer Olympics of 1996, but this is the first time it will be taken outside a spacecraft.
Are they going to light it or no? I guess there's no.
They're not gonna light
They're
it
not going to
because
be able to light
because
it.
because it won't be because there's no oxygen there, and you need oxygen for something to burn.
Well, the Russians, they turned off that torch how many times already? That torch isn't even from the original flame.
Yes.
It's from a lighter.
Yeah, matter of fact, last
I guess the new deal is don't make such a big deal out of the torch. It doesn't have to be lit forever.
Yeah, I guess exactly. Last month, the Olympic flame traveled to the North Pole on a Russian nuclear-powered icebreaker, and later this month it will sink to the bottom of the world's deepest lake, Lake Baikal. And also in early February, it will reach the peak of Mount Elbrus at 18,510 feet, the highest mountain in Russia and Europe. And the torch will be used to light the Olympic flame at Sochi Stadium on February 7th, marking the Winter Olympics and marking the start of the 2014 Winter Games that will run until February the 23rd.
I have a question. Has this ever been done before? Like they're taking the torch to the utmost of the utmost places? I thought they ran them through cities and shit.
Well, yeah, they did, but they
Now
want to
they're
put it in the highest
sending
and
them
high
up there,
I know they did it.
trampoline. What are they doing with
I know
it?
they did on certain highest mountains of certain areas within that area, but I never heard of it going underwater. But that is quite,
Kinda
interesting.
like showing off.
Yeah, pretty much showing off.
You're
Yeah.
gonna run through a brothel with women.
Well, I ain't gonna. Now that's kind of dangerous. They'll do something
We'll
risk.
go out
They'll do
there.
something exciting, but at the same time, try to have as minimal risk as possible. I'm sure. I'm
And
guessing.
Miley Cyrus rub up and down the torch.
True.
I don't know what they're trying to do. Why don't you get that gay situation settled in Russia? People are paranoid.
Yeah,
You're gonna arrest their ass.
you're right. You're right.
Why don't you get that? house
Sabuku
in
was
order?
saying when the torch did the rounds before coming to the UK and London, it stayed all right until it landed on British soil. Then it went out.
Yeah.
Wow, my goodness.
I don't know. You think about it, Sabuki. The torch has been blown off now. How many times? It happened as soon as that Russian
Twice,
guy
3 times.
got his hands on it. The frickin' thing went off. Then they had to light it with a lighter. So does that make it the official torch? The flame,
Well, they
supposedly
did-
an endless flame.
Yeah, they actually had a funny cartoon of that funny episode on King of the Hill where the Olympic Games were coming. I guess the Salt Lake City, the Winter Olympics. Hank was running with the torch, and then he got lighted, and then said, "Well, that doesn't really count as the Olympic flame." And then like, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna look like an idiot." And then he turned it off. But what was really funny, but he was actually he extinguished the flame because it wasn't really the real flame, but his friend Dale, who lit his cigarette with the Olympic torch, he said, "Hey, let me get your cigarette." And he relit the torch with his man's cigarette.
Lit up cigarette and he's part of the Olympics.
Yeah, because it was part. Yeah, because he lit his cigarette with the Olympic torch. He said, "Well, it was his Olympic torch. I guess it still counts."
Something to be said. Cigarette companies ought to pick up on that. I'm sure there's some kind of a funny video there. Putin sure does know how to take a lot of bare-chested pictures, not to like gay guys. That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, who cares? It's all show. Try to unite us in sport. They can't unite us in peace. What freaking hope does the sport have? You're right. If nothing else, it's going to make it worse because a lot of these fanatics, especially in that whole world of soccer and football that you call it in Europe, there's a lot of maniacs in those games.
Yeah.
A lot of all the school bullies go there and all the bully people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like trying to find a good guy in a like in the old days with the Spartans fighting in the Colosseum.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go there to find a nice family member? I don't think so. You're gonna find like the worst of the worst. It's the same thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
What are you gonna find in wrestling? But screaming kids and obnoxious parents.
Yeah. You're right. You're definitely right about that.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of Hunger Games. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hello, Nordstein. I like to say yes, DB, but the world is fat enough already.
So just give it all together. I like to say yes. Yeah.
Not gonna be very long.
Lose Sport and Wally, here we come. Just.
By the way, Watch Out 1 says non-endless flame. It's supposed to be. Yeah, that's the point. It hasn't been, though. They keep turning that shit on with a lighter. What's up with that? Now they're sending it to space and underwater and... What else?
Yeah.
Send it to a gay cruise.
Well, there's already enough
Right.
flaming
A
as
gay
it is
cruise.
right there.
A gay cruise going. That's
I didn't
it.
see
Have
that.
Ellen
Like,
DeGeneres, Rosie O'Donnell, have all those people on there.
wasn't it Carson Greeley and
Yeah.
Guten
Is
Tag,
Carson,
Groschneck.
he's gay?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
He was on that
Carson
show.
Daly?
No, Carson Greeley.
Oh.
Carson Greeley. Yeah, he was one of the guys from a Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Yeah. Even though I think he dropped the ball when he visited Oakland, when he had this green jacket and this pink and white picnic tablecloth shirt. Like, come on, man. Y'all supposed to be known to be better dressed than anyone else. Come on, that was bad.
Well, what better honor could the gay community give to Russia but a smelly, anus-smelling torch?
Ew.
Great metaphor, don't you think?
Yeah, but
Burn your ass with that long torch?
yeah, but you talking about what end? You talking about the handle end or the flame end?
Whatever, wherever you're at, it's on you to think what I'm saying.
Yeah, but either way, man, either end, that's still kind of. Yes. I'm just saying.
I don't know. The torch is to me is a nice tradition,
Sideways.
but they just can't live up to it. So maybe they ought to rethink that whole torch thing. If you're gonna have a torch, have it like in a bubble so it stays on, or just do like they did with the
Yeah, but the thing is,
the torch of the Statue of Liberty. You have one painted.
you can't put it in a bubble because it'll use up once all the oxygen is exhumed from that dome, it's gonna go out. In order for a flame, any type of fire to burn, there has to be oxygen present. So yeah,
Put some holes in it then. Do something. We can invent computers. I'm sure they can invent the torch that won't go out.
Yeah, it's called electricity. Just
Ridiculous.
Just get a light bulb, get a flame-shaped light bulb, and put it on there until.
You know what the irony is that we're even talking about this shit.
Yeah,
that's really.
I know, but
that's how bad it's gotten. That even the torch is news or has drama.
A piece of fire that has drama. How about that? Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it? By the way, there's a recount ready for Warner Robins elections. I guess they had problems as well.
Right.
With their districts like we had here, so they want to recount. And it goes back to what I've been saying is like, when are we going to get our act together where even the elections in this place are all confusing? Mm-hmm. And leave people kind of in a lurch. Like, okay, who's going to be mayor? Who's going to be who's going to be the District 2 commissioner here in Macon, Georgia, with Rabbi and Ficklin, yeah? Everybody's like, it's like that flame going off.
Yeah.
You know, they got the flame and then it goes off. You don't know whether they do have it or not. It's ridiculous. So they're going to be doing that. They're doing a recount for Warner Robins. We have a man accused of attack on Kathleen grandparents, now faces attempted murder. I don't know what this is about, but this must be in Perry. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And, they got the block on. So they're not letting me see the story. All right, well, there you have it. The man accused of attack on Kathleen grandparents. 35-year-old is accused of the two counties. Oh, that's the guy that shot his grandparents.
Yes.
Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to get like several years. And those inmates, they're not going to give him.
Yeah, well, he's now going to be convicted of attempted murder of his grandparents.
Yes.
Remember they were saying grandparents were like, oh, I forgive him all this shit.
Yeah, but those inmates won't, unfortunately.
All right.
Unfortunately for him.
What do you got coming up?
Well, I had some crazy stuff. I guess because it's 9:58. I got two crazy stories. One, I guess I could probably go ahead and get into Walmart. Yeah, go ahead. Walmart had a website error which allowed customers to buy $600 electronics for $8.85. Man, where was I when I
You're
didn't
going to
get
charge him.
Jeez. Walmart had said they had resolved an issue that was causing an online frenzy among shoppers. An apparent electronic glitch in the company's website early this morning led to $8.85 listings for items that included computer monitors and projectors normally worth hundreds of dollars. the country's largest retailer was selling a 24-inch high-definition ViewSonic computer monitor, an InFocus digital projector, and other products, many for $8.85. The projector is listed for $579 on Walmart.com and $580 on Newegg.com. As customers shared the deals on the social media sites like Instagram, wondering if the site was hacked, products just sold out in just hours. A spokesman for Walmart said the company was scanning the millions of items on its site to see if there were any technical errors causing discrepancies. It says, given a wide discrepancy in pricing, we are notifying customers who ordered these items that their orders have been canceled and that they will be refunded in full. In addition, they will send these customers a $10 e-gift card that can be used toward future purchases at Walmart stores and Walmart.com. So
they're paying the customers on top of that for their own
on their own glitch. Since they thought they were getting paid $10 for a 32-inch widescreen TV, they end up, it's not really count. They're just going to give you $10 and a gift card. So.
Now this comes on the heels of a bank giving out like $50 on their ATM just a week ago.
Wow. Did Ant call for
There goes our tech people.
Yep.
Speaking of tech.
It's 10:01. 2 hours gone, 2 down, and 1 more to go. We still have 1 more hour left in Thirsty Thursday right here on the Morning Roast, live at the Nut House with Irv, Ed, and DB. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Stick around. 1 hour.
Whatever type of cartoon South Park. Oh, jeez. I'm still reeling over that woman who did the skydiving and landed in that car, which was a hot convertible Mustang, by the way. That driver and that skydiver both have some serious skills, awesome skills.
Did you see? There was a video
and cool car.
Video recently put out on YouTube. It got a few thousand hits on it, where a guy skydived, but the parachute didn't open up right, so it slammed him up against a mountain. And he's showing his leg is all torn open.
Cool.
And he's sitting there slowly. His blood is coming out. Of course, he got he lost like 2 pints of blood. By the time they got him off the mountain.
Okay.
But you think that skydiving stuff is, just jumping off a cliff and gliding down smoothly. You run the risk of getting a gust of wind coming in and slamming you head on, or as this guy happened, when he slammed like this, he started spinning around and his legs were hitting the side of the mountain at full force. By the time it was done, he had a mangled leg, and they were saying they may have to cut it off.
Well, I'm quite
Worth
sure.
it?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. That's why you have to be very careful. You have to really have a nice flat place to land. Not that many mountains or any type of obstacles, that are in the way to keep you from landing safely. And plus,
it's not useful in everyday life. Landing on a moving car from a parachute, exactly. Is that not kind of extreme? Oh, let me go and jump on a parachute and drive in a... How do you get there? How do you get there as a decision to do that shit? Got to be all caught up in some unreality world. Like, you're not going to get hurt. It's like little kids. I'm telling you. The country's crazy. I will never die from a skydiving accident. This white man does not think he can fly. I just wouldn't put my life in a risk like that. I think it's silly.
Oh, yeah.
It's too high risk. And it's not going to be like you're going to become like, this historical figure based on the fact that you died in a freaking skydiving accident. That's going to be what you're known for. It's terrible.
Yeah, who wants to? Well, no one wants to go out like that.
It's called From Dangerous Sport, raise your heart rate and makes you feel alive. I know. That's what they say. A bunch of addicts.
You're right.
Same addictive behavior, I guess. except they put it to a parachute as opposed to a crack or a drug. Same shit. It's all extreme. It's all about feeling extreme.
Oh yeah.
Why can't you just be dull?
Because dull is boring. That's why they always say that thing, nice guys finish last.
Wow.
And that's why you never heard of any thugs or drug dealers or gangbangers or dictators not having any problem getting dates.
What's wrong with routine life? What's wrong with that? People don't like it. They need to be doing something all the time. Why? Why can't you just let it occur and chill out and relax? Why do you have to be into these extreme sports and extreme boxing and going to stadiums with football fans, everybody making noise and screaming?
Well,
why do we need that?
I guess people want something to feel like they have accomplished something. Like when super running with the bulls, do something that's risk taking, like skydiving, running with the bulls, or scuba diving, that type of stuff. Something to do with speed or height or something like that, or a combination of both.
Or bad parenting.
Yeah, well, I don't think bad parenting is a sport, and it should never be. Just saying.
Anyway, ATT, but 99.9% of these extreme sports people are white. In this case, I say whites are dumb as hell, and just living is good enough. Yeah, you're right.
I have to agree with ATT.
People want more.
You don't see too many black guys, skydiving or running with the bulls, but because basically just living.
That's what they have cops for.
Yeah, exactly. Just living as a black guy is already an extreme sport. If you want to be honest, we're always getting chased. It was not by the chased by the police, by the Ku Klux Klan, by gang members, bullies.
What are you gonna do?
Rabid stray dogs on the corner. What'd you go do?
That's why we have to make sure. By the way, we were going back to the MPD sworn in. This is what this police officer says, and I take him at his word. Because I believe that a lot of those guys, the police officers, especially here in Macon, a lot of really good guys in there. I'm serious. I'm not brown-nosing. I'm just speaking the fact. Keep it balanced. You have some extremely dumb guys in there, but you have some extremely good guys. This is one of them. I love helping folks out. People that's in need, being there for them. I am a people person, so I just love doing what I can do to help someone out at it. And that comes from Officer Jason Randall. Officer Jason Randall, who was sworn in as a new deputy. And there he is. Cool guy. And let me just say, we've had some, as of late, some, run-ins or talking to police. And I have to say, they've all been very pleasant. So,
Right.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So it's getting better. It's getting better, and I always have hope. I hope our city does grow. I'm more optimistic than Anthony is, but then again, Anthony, whatever. He's got his own issue. If it doesn't include him, it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Well, to me, I don't want to be included in this political circus anymore. I just want to be an average show. Who's here? I walk down the street, people say hello, I say hello back, and that's it. Not getting all involved again. Don't say DB, the next extreme sport will be going blackface in the city. That's such a British humor, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's a
dry
humor. It's like, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, son. Yeah, but I'm just saying, just walking around without looking over your shoulder with the cops and the robbers and stuff and gangbangers and Ku Klux Klansman. That's an extreme sport within itself.
Wow.
Not saying you should be wearing blackface, but you know, it's just.
Well, speaking of extremes, we've been extremely rude to our guests. Go down the line, baby. Shout out to all our chatters and our friends and family and hangout bud, whatever. Brothers, sisters, and all.
Mm-hmm.
Say hello, Derek.
Hello, Diaz Photo Guy. Hello, Master Meatball. Hello, Sabuki. Hello, ATT. Hello, Too Much Wartown, Uric Wildcat. How you do? Ben in Ohio, Green Man. Hello, Hero Man, Logger in Camp, Muhammad Hussein, Nordschnack, Guten Tag, Scorpio Pio, and Watchdog 1. And Zappa 1.
Green Man, welcome. We've had a few other viewers. They all split, you know. We have our people coming in and out. Good Time Radio.
Yeah.
He's always around early. And thank you to him. His support. Nordschnack, who's on. Actually, the banner you're looking at was created by Nordschnack. And really makes us look good here on the Morning Roast.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to be on a venue where you get, this is our hangout spot for the day. You know, 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week of nonstop bullshit and clamor, talking and chatting and speaking up or speaking out or fighting, or it's like our social club.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to our social club. In and out, yeah. That is the code. Yeah, Naughty did a great job with that. I love it. And I'm so glad it's part of us. You know, it's like we all give. Look, over here we got the wall of, people that gave to our show. Sponsors. People do sponsor us.
Yes.
Uric has sponsored us. DS Photo Guy. All these guys give to the Morning Roast,
which we appreciate greatly appreciate.
And so it's good to have take a moment and appreciate you guys that are always on, you guys that are coming on and learning a little bit about our crazy ass show.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to continue. We've been doing it for a year and change. We are somewhat committed to it, no matter what and how stupid it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got some breaking news.
Oh, we got breaking news.
Some crazy breaking
Bring it
news.
on.
I just been told, at least through CNN and other journalists, that Dallas Cowboys great Tony Dorsett has been confirmed yesterday that he has been diagnosed with having signs of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a degenerative condition that scientists have linked to depression and dementia. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame running back confirmed in ESPN's Outside the Lines report that he and 2 other former NFL players were diagnosed with CTE after 3 months of brain scans and clinical testing at UCLA.
Yep.
And the other players diagnosed were a Hall of Fame offensive lineman Joe DeLemieux and former All-Pro defensive lineman Leonard Marshall. Another unidentified player was tested, but his results are not yet available. And Dorsett said a USA researcher phoned him earlier this week on Monday in Dallas to give him the news. And according to the Outside the Lines, UCLA tested 5 other former players and found signs also of CTE in them.
You know what the problem is, I think, is it's too much doctoring these guys with pills and all sorts of shit. I mean, they need to know his history. Did he do drugs? Did he do steroids? There's a lot of reasoning behind that, but I would bet that a lot of it has to do with just the sport of football.
Well, yeah, there's no question about it.
They bang each other around.
No question about it.
End. Some of these guys weighing like a Reuben studded 462 pounds, ramming at you.
And who could run faster than I can? That's scary. I mean, some 330 pounds.
Yeah, that's another thing. They make good cops.
Yeah, they should. They should.
Why I say don't put those cops down. Those big heavy set guys are fast sons of bitches. Some of them.
Mm-hmm. Tony Dorsett won the 1976 Heisman Trophy at the University of Pittsburgh and led them to a national championship. and he rushed for over 12,000 yards, 12,739 yards during 12 NFL seasons. 11 of those seasons with the Dallas Cowboys, and he played, I think, his final season at Denver Broncos. And
what do you think about this controversy regarding the NFL and the bullying? I mean, what do you attribute that culture of guys exploding like they showed on the video of him exploding and screaming his head off, and some other guys standing there and not saying anything, which I think is the problem.
Yeah, it is the problem. I mean, this shouldn't be in there. I mean, I know there's going to be some type of squabbling and horseplay, but the thing is, as far as it, people got to remember, or plus the players got to remember that they are professionals. They're there not to just party. They're there because they're making a living. That is how they that's how they keep the lights on.
And it's a very limited time.
Yeah, very limited time, because
they shouldn't be squandering it.
Exactly, because not that many football players can play for 12 seasons, 12 years in the NFL. If anything, actually, the average NFL player plays a career in the NFL is like half of that, really. 5 or 6 seasons, 5 or 6 years, if they're lucky and don't get hurt. You know,
or don't wind up with brain damage like this guy.
Yeah, which is kind of weird, because usually the people who are been called who have CTE are usually people on the line, the linemen people. Those are the ones who block back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
They're the ones that get the most hit?
Yeah, they get the ones with most hit, because particularly the center and the people who are surrounding the center and the linemen who protect the quarterback, who has to throw the ball to the next person, the wide receiver, tight end, or the running back. If he receives the ball, he's right next to the quarterback sometimes. And I guess Tony Dorsett said he said they had signs and traits of, well, I guess playing 12 years that long, and plus handing the ball, and you're right next, say you're on the line, you're the quarterback, you hand me the ball, this is the ball, you hand me the ball, they're going to be coming after me as well as you are. So yeah,
well, that's the structure of the sport.
Yeah, that's
football one-on-one. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see that.
Well.
I mean, granted, he's an offensive player, but yeah, I could definitely see that, because.
All right. Well, goodbye, cruel world.
Yes.
He's gonna have brain damage soon, and
well,
might as well
he says he's
get some money so he can sit there like a vegetable, but still be fed.
Yeah, but he says he's determined to beat it. So
Won't throw you in an early
keep
grave.
going. Keep on keeping on, Tony. Dorsett.
By the way, did you hear about the Pope? He's reaching out to the world now. The Pope's embrace. He put out a feeler.
Mm-hmm.
And but here's a great picture of him healing or touching a very rare disease man. It's kind of like that elephantitis. If Ed could get this picture up of the Pope blessing this man,
You might want to
copy link the location, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe here. Copy, and I want people to see this because it's a very powerful picture, and I think it says loads about who this man, our Pope, is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a link, and check it out. I would check that out and think about this. This is a whole new church now, I'm telling you. And I'm open-minded. But he touches his man and shows his compassion. And it's wonderful pictures. Just incredible. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really incredible pictures.
Yeah, they don't show. Yeah, they don't show his face.
What it says to me is that he's a man who's really, maybe in his heart of hearts, really wants to do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously he's not a leper because he's not.
No, that looks like that elephantitis disease. The elephant man.
Oh, okay,
That's what it looks
that
like.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Got the big boils and the disfigured face.
Yeah, very.
Take
good.
a look for yourself. There we go.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, it's really. Yeah, it's really. Yeah, that's. That's grotesque. Yeah.
That's intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, intense and kind of grotesque, but I know he can't help that because because who knows where he got it from, or whether he was infected with it, or whether he was born with it. Who no one knows.
Yeah.
No
well,
one
that is a wonderful. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That is a wonderful shot of compassion, humanity, the love of God displayed. That's what I feel. Wonderful. Anyway, so and that's why we got to consider ourselves like we are so blessed. Right?
Right? Yeah, no question about it.
Got to really think about that.
You gonna bless us now?
And I'm gonna, at this moment, yes, I'm gonna bless you now with our daily bread. It couldn't be more apropos to bring this up.
Absolutely.
Let's see what it says. 2 victories. Two victories. Name of our daily bread today for November 7, 2013. Written by Dave Brannon. King David was up against a familiar foe. Years before, as a young shepherd boy, he had faced down Goliath, the top Philistine warrior, by killing him with a well-placed stone. 1 Samuel chapter 17. Now, David was king of Israel, and here come the Philistines again. They heard that he was king, and they decided to attack. 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 17. What do we do first when trouble is on the way? We would panic. We could plan. Or we could first do what David did, pray. David inquired of the Lord, verse 19, and God guided the king. David had to fight 2 battles with the Philistines, one in Baal of Perazim, and one in the valley of Rephaim. It's a good thing he consulted God, because in these 2 attacks, there were 2 different strategies. In the first one, God won the battle with his power alone. The Lord has broken through, David recorded in verse 20. For the next one, God gave David an action plan, and when he carried it out, the Israelites won, verse 23 and 25. Each day, we face many challenges, although there is no one size-fits-all answer to any of this. Our first action should always be to consult God. In other words, go pray somewhere for a while. Chill out. As he guides us, we can have confidence in him. Whether the victory comes through his miraculous intervention or through his guidance, all the glory goes to God. This all seems to work out. Not to the strong is the battle. Not to the swift is the race. Yet to the true and the faithful, victory is promised through grace. That was written by a person named Crosby, like Bing Crosby. To stand up to any challenge, spend time on your knees. And David's inquired of the Lord in 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 19. Inquired of the Lord means go and pray about it before you take action. Don't be so impulsive. Yeah. The universe doesn't revolve around you. There you have it. Be thankful for the little things. Thank you, Watchdog.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Wow.
I hope so, Mary. I hope so. I hope that Malachi's prophecy comes true with the church.
Yeah, this pope is the last pope he's going to heal the church before the judgment.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
There's
Believe me,
something
it's
screwy
a long,
around here.
it's a long way home, for sure.
Okay.
But hey,
I remember I was listening to some radio station that there's supposed to be two more after Benedict. So it's supposed to be like Francis and then one other person. but I could be wrong. Okay.
Wow.
So he's either the last one or the second to the last.
Wow. Well, here's a great story. Thank you to my friend there. I think it was Saibuku who gave it to us.
Oh, okay.
A drunk man wakes up in a body bag at the morgue.
Now that's a wing dang doodle right
Now,
there.
what the hell? Who was it? ATT. It was ATT. Sorry. ATT. Poland. In Poland.
Wow.
Mind you. It was one of those nights for 56-year-old Marek Michalowski. One of those nights when one more seemed like a good idea, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He was found passed out on a bench in Piekro, wherever in Poland, without a pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Concerned citizens called an ambulance and he was whisked away. It's hours later, his dog gets quiet. Marek awoke in a body bag and screamed for help, but nobody heard him. He then rolled the bag off the table and extricated himself from his premature eternal sleep bag to find himself in a morgue. That's pretty bad. Look at that. Talk about a lesson in life.
Oh, yes.
He told the local media, I remember sitting on a bench and the next thing I woke up in a morgue.
Mm-hmm.
I have nightmares now being sliced up by doctors who don't realize that I'm alive and wanted to do an autopsy. Could you imagine? It wasn't there a movie. There was a movie that was out, a Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Where the guy crashed his car, they couldn't feel his pulse, they had him on a morgue, they were ready to cut him open, and he let a tear out, and that's when they found out that he was still alive.
That's something right there. As a matter of fact, as the story I talked about earlier about Tony Dorsett, I was just happened to be checking out CNN. They're just interviewing Jamal.
Money Plastic, it's good to have you. Lesson of the story, do not pass out on a public bench in Poland.
Mr. Jamal Williams, who played for Atlanta Falcons, who was a former running back, he, saying that Tony Dorsett was one of his role models. But it's really big. I'm surprised we really had really big news about it. Well, of course it's going to be big.
What are we talking about? Poland? And this guy going to the morgue, or?
Well, I just having to check out what's going on CNN. But
speaking of body bags, what's in today? Good question.
Yeah, good question.
Well, he's stuck in a morgue somewhere. Who knows what happens?
He needs an oil can. Remember, he's a tin man. Remember?
He's kind of a he's like a quasi family man at times. Whatever act he wants to put on at that moment. Mm-hmm. Like an actor in everything he does.
Oh yes. Well, we got a.
I'm feeling good, Plastic. Thank you for asking, sweetheart.
How you doing, Plastic? How are you?
Anyway, Iraq left. Okay.
I got another crazy story. Yeah, do not pass out on a park bench in Poland.
I personally knew a World War II combat veteran. He was at Pearl Harbor. He fly planes in the Pacific World War II wars. He woke up in the morgue with a toe tag on him. Real story. Wow. That's scary.
That had to scare him.
And shit, that must have been a great story to tell somebody. Yeah, I woke up in the morgue with a tag on my toe.
Wow.
And I just made it out. Could you imagine if they would have stuck him in a freezer and he was alive? Oh, what a Twilight Zone.
I don't know if he may not have been able to survive. Cause, especially how cold, depending on how cold it is.
Yeah. I guess you would knock out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the cold would just knock you out.
Possibly, yeah. Just make you just go unconscious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Die a very lazy, falling asleep death.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
What? Who knows?
But
I don't want to be there. I don't want to try that.
Yeah.
I hope they make sure that I'm dead. Poke my body or something with knives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stab me up like a chicken.
It's like a chicken.
Anyway.
Or like a side of beef. Speaking of side of beef.
Hello, Mod Security. Welcome. Always good to have you.
Speaking of side of beef, or a nice facsimile of one, there was a California man busted for selling Russell cow costumes, man. Cow costumes.
Rustled, like rustled together?
Yeah, rustled together.
Russell cow costume.
In Redlands,
What
California,
the hell is that all about?
police in Southern California have busted a cattle costume rustler after he tried to sell the stolen suits online. Redlands police say the two 7-foot cow costumes created for the Chick-fil-A chain were nabbed in separate restaurant burglaries.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The costumes turned up for sale for $350 a piece on Craigslist on October 30th. Man.
They're good costumes.
Oh, yeah, they are. They are. An undercover police officer.
There you go. There you have one picture of one right here.
Yeah, exactly,
Thank you,
right there. Was
Scorpio.
that one of them? An undercover cop arranged to buy the bovine attire in time for Halloween. When the seller produced the black and white outfits, he was arrested. Clink, clink. 43-year-old Robert Michael Tritton of Riverside is being held for suspicion of possession of stolen property and on $275,000 bail. The costumes were valued by the restaurants at $2,800 a piece.
Wow.
My goodness. And
Boo,
he's selling for
moo.
$350.
Yeah, boo, moo. It's
Oh,
more of
yes.
a moo than a boo, I guess.
Yeah. They also recovered a pop-up canopy stolen from the restaurant. And they had to send it all the way back to Chick-fil-A. So, wow. Go.
Chick-fil-A got robbed. I wonder if the guys were gay. Getting back.
You were...
Never think of that.
You got ESP, man. I swear you got you. I was thinking that. You think those guys must have been gay after getting back when they were told them not to get
I'm just saying.
all them
It's
chicken
just a
sandwiches.
thought.
Oh, yeah. We're getting back at them chicken sandwiches. But, man, you got to admit, them chicken sandwiches are good.
Actually, chicken sandwiches at Chick-fil-A are good. They're a little overpriced. I think the portion size is a little small, but, you know.
Well, yeah. I can't complain. I loved it because, I mean, it surely beats like junk food.
Hello,
'cause-
Sergio St. James.
Mhm.
Hello, Jess 131955. Welcome.
Yeah, speaking of Chick-fil-A, matter of fact, I think they actually did cater one of the lunches when Ant and I were, and Chuck Clark and I were I think that last day when they were filming 42 in Macon,
Yeah.
they actually had some people from Chick-fil-A that was giving away free chicken sandwiches and those potato wedges.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It was a lot more filling than chips.
During the filming?
Yeah, during the filming last year.
And
year and a
yeah,
half
the
ago.
last year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. We didn't want to reach some gay guys that were on movie set. Got a lot of gay guys in the acting business. Yeah.
Could be.
Trying to build. You know, the way to a man's stomach is hard, of course.
Well, actually,
And that
through
goes
his
to
heart,
gay men, too.
through his heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
They get to his heart is through
Give
his
them a good meal and they'll be happy as shit. Anyway, what else?
Well,
What's in the news,
it's funny
Derek?
that you were talking about.
Get away from sports. You're gonna chase the audience away.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'll find
I
something.
know you
That's,
want to go sports all day.
it just had some stuff. Just, I mean, I hate to say, but it was
Is
just
a
sports
guy getting
related.
shot or killed or murder? You bring it up.
Okay, but if he
If
gets,
it's just that he won another scholarship to some university, I really could give a rat ass. Unless they have
So-
an effect on our city.
but if he gets hit by a Academy sports truck, okay, that still don't count.
Yeah. Is that what happened?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay,
But
but
how about this? A man is indicted for shaking and choking a baby.
well,
That's
I guess
what I'm
that's
talking about.
okay. Yeah, that's definitely not a sport. So yeah, go.
Indicted. Bibb County man accused of shaking and choking an 8-month-old baby was indicted on Tuesday. Kendall Mishan Spivey was indicted in Bibb County grand jury for maliciously causing bilateral bleeding on the baby's brain and retinal hemorrhages. Wow, really shook that kid up. Spivey is charged with 2 counts of cruelty to children in the first degree. He has criminal history. He was convicted of aggravated assault, family violence, stalking, burglary. He was also convicted of possession of marijuana on October 17, 2002.
Yeah, and the other charge it was back in 2007. It's like, gosh, man. Yeah, he had a long list. He had a long list of stuff, a decade-long list.
That's a problem. You have these kids raising kids that can't handle it.
Yeah, you're right. You're
They can't
absolutely
handle it.
right. They can't
Parents.
handle it.
You know, what do you guys think about Kanye West and the Confederate battle flag? Interesting that you said that. I didn't make comment on that.
Yeah, we
He's
talked
trying to
about
make
it
his
yesterday.
own.
Yeah.
You know what? He wants to go there. I don't know. It's like the same thing with the N-word. If you say with an A, it's all right. If you say with an R, it's wrong. There's always this stupid-ass reasoning that, to me, makes no sense.
Well, yeah.
None of it makes sense.
Well,
like taking the flag over to decriminalize it. You gotta wait until all these people die out before you bring that idea to the table. People still see it as a racist. It's like the KKK with the costume that everybody thought, oh, that's terrible. Same thing. Same thing.
The Halloween costume, that is kind of.
Yeah,
that is terrible.
You have to figure out where do you put your what are your beliefs? What is your belief? Do you think the Confederate flag ought to be given an honor of being flown around when they had history? Yeah.
Wow, wait.
I don't know. Wajo, can you read or I am? Okay, whatever. Good morning, Donnie. I think it's silly. It's on one end, it's just a flag. It's just a piece of cloth. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's a bad symbol, but it's not such a big deal. But I think it's stupid that he wants to play off of that. That
is true.
To gain some notoriety and some more bullshit.
It's true. I mean, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, more BS happened to blacks on the American flag than the Confederate battle flag. Well, yeah, that is true.
Very good.
But at the same time, you have to admit though, the Confederacy, the South, they were a country for 4 years, and they're still trying to keep the flag on. And like, look, you lost the war. You don't get stuff for losing. That's why Germany lost World War II. You don't see any Nazi swastikas flying around Germany, do you? Of course not. I don't know why they're trying to hold the flag.
Well,
when you lose a war,
legally anyway.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are people that have it in their, framed.
I'm just saying. I mean, I know it's historical, but at the same time, you don't get anything for losing. So I don't know why you're trying to keep that flag going on in Mississippi and all other places. They lost the war. You're not supposed. When you lose a war, you don't get a single thing. You don't get to fly your flag. You certainly don't get a freaking holiday, which. I don't know why they got Confederate Memorial Day, which makes no sense. We don't have a Japanese.
Well, they were, regardless of whatever side you were on, which it's obvious what side I was on, or still am on. But they were still Americans who wanted, they had their dream. Of course, they wanted to do it in a treacherous way. But then again, it's like the same thing happens today. One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist.
Well, yeah.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom.
That's why in America they were called the Patriots here, whereas the British, they were terrorists. Terrorists against the crown.
Tell that to the Palestinians. Sergio, can we say the American flag stands for segregation, genocide, mass murder, and the world kidnapped the indigenous people? Yes.
Yes.
All of the above and more. How could we fight against a racist like Hitler when we were massacred on our own hometown? There you go.
Well, you do have a point. Plus, also the Tuskegee Airmen, the pilots. I mean, bad enough the government said that, black men or black people in general were not functionally capable of being pilots and stuff like that. Same thing when they were talking about in sports. You're not smart enough to be a quarterback or a coach of a team, which makes any sense. But as far as the military, that was a straight up criminal.
Yeah,
I mean, Sergio
goes on. He says, as far as the American flag goes, blacks were stupid, fighting proudly in World War II when their own country didn't welcome them home.
Yes, I mean, that is true. I mean, when the war was over, they had these Nazi POWs coming. They had them sitting in the front of the trains, where the black soldiers were sitting in the back. And like, dang, even in war, you still had segregation. That's straight up BS.
You mean the Nazi enemy was segregated?
Well, the thing was when they had the Nazis who were as POWs, they were sitting in these trains, putting them in the jail, where the black soldier was sitting in the back. I mean, I don't know, maybe because they wanted to guard them, wanted to see had a good close look on them, or they thought.
By the way, World War II means exactly that. People don't understand that. The Nazi enemies were worth more to the white Americans than the blacks were.
Which, sad to say, especially, I mean, it's bad enough they didn't even thought black people were smart enough to fly planes, be pilots, Tuskegee Airmen, and then when they did allow them to fly, they gave them the worst planes ever. These practically, they just gave them a nice little paint job and then just put them in the air. But it's just sad.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you dress as Jackie Robinson again? Only do you know a show dressed like Jackie Robinson?
Well, yeah, I did that for the movie 42 because
Yeah. By the way, this is throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
What's your throwback show? Some nerd shirt back in the days of Happy Days.
Mm-hmm. But going back, the planes were really bad. They just had a nice paint job, and that was about it. They did their best to fly them, which has got to be a miracle within itself. Shooting down German planes, and they had these terrible planes. Which, if you had them compare them to a car, it's like trying to the earlier planes that the Tuskegee pilots were flying is like basically putting in a Yugo or a Pinto in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, they put them in the shitty planes.
Yeah, exactly. Really crappy planes.
Yeah, sounds like my car, DB. Yeah. Well, at that time it was a whole different world then, but it's really not changed much. They're still coming home.
It's just covert.
And now they Starbucks is reaching out. They're going to hire a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to have, it's great, you're going to have a lot of guys with post-traumatic stress disorder drinking a lot of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
It's going to happen
You're
then.
right.
You're going to be all PTD'd out with Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee strong and jolts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, never know. So we're gonna have a lot of Starbucks incidents, I guess. People going postal.
You're
That's
right.
Starbucks coffee. Well, anyway, we had a big bee challenge. We had a bee truck crash over here, letting out thousands of bees all over the highway. And that happened during this early week. And now, you look around, you may run into a bee or two. I noticed there are a few more bees than during this time. So they had a big bee problem here not too long ago.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. They had some bees that fell off the road off a truck.
But they find a new home, the big bees.
That's good to know.
Yeah. The second Wendy Adams heard about the buzz about a bee carrying a big rig overturning.
Mm-hmm.
She flew into action. She hopped on a honeybean mobile and soared at the scene of the accident. But saving the insects wasn't the hardest part. Helping the orphan bees find foster homes. Would you believe this shit? That's when the new Robert Young stepped in. This is his first time beekeeping, but says he hasn't passed up the chance to help. The beekeepers have been relying on their own resources, but really could use a few. These key items: hay, sugar, and extra queens. Wow, so there's a Bee at Peace Rescue Fund on Facebook.
Wow. I'm surprised they haven't had one of those commercials like those ASCAP, like those abused
bless
dogs. Those abused dogs.
Whatever, yeah.
Do you love honey? Do you love bees?
Well,
call this Find a Bee Rescue. We could give you your very own beehive. You can name these bees if you want to choose in your own choosing.
Have you ever seen a really bad bee infestation? David Kuzno, the guy that ran for mayor, has been here a few times. David Kuzno, our friend. He had a bee nest growing in the walls of his house. And it was close to 50 pounds of honey.
Oh, yeah.
And honeycomb. Literally, like half his wall.
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking, actually, that happened to my grandfather. My grandfather had like this shack, this old
shed,
yeah, this old tool shed, and it had like just this huge wall, side wall, nothing but beehives all over the place.
Yeah.
Some bees and a couple of wasps actually got stung by one of them. And
That's scary.
yeah, and he was talking about see if you could find someone to rob the hive and take the hive away. And I was just thinking, man, if there was a way we could actually keep the hive and actually make a living and sell the honey from it, you know, and sell it in stores, like, man, we could actually make a killing and call it, you know, street
There was
sweet.
a lot of honey coming out of those honeycombs
Yeah,
that David had. He
street
had them
sweet
in big
honey.
bowls like this, huge chunks like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like 10 bowls. I mean, it was crazy. It was so much honey that he got.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he offered me that. No, I don't want
Too much.
that.
I call my wife honey. She
Do
says, "Leave me
stuff.
be." You know what? I think something. I bet you, Dave. He probably could have made some serious money. Could come,
You
could-
got a pretty mom.
yeah, have some honey. Yeah, he could have had DC honey right there. See, there you go, DC honey.
Yeah, by the way, you're right, ATT, though. The red wasp, those are pretty popular here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Yurak had one at his house. We were talking about how are you going to deal with this problem. Those things are dangerous.
Oh yeah.
You
And
got
they
a
make
problem.
these big nests in the wall just like the bees do, but they're wasps. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Sting your ass when you're coming out. You can't even, yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
turn everybody's stomach right now.
Oh really?
Did you see what I just saying?
See one's. Oh, I mean the news story that you got. Oh. Ew.
What is that?
Stomach churning foods from around the world.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I like the way honey glistens on Irv's upper lip and drips down from his beard and into his coffee. Yeah.
Ew. Man, this.
Sexy.
I don't.
Sexy.
Yeah.
This is an interesting looking meal here, right?
This is a definitely
what
wing
the
dang dude.
hell? It looks like molded bread.
It says Kopi Luwak. Well, it actually says toasted
It's like a
grasshoppers.
disease badge. Yeah.
Toasted grasshoppers in a chalupa, I guess. Toasted grasshopper
Awful.
chalupas. Ew. Crazy stuff,
No.
man.
Man.
And something called in another. That's
Read about the coffee.
oh yeah, Kopi Luwak, the defecated coffee. Ew. Which is sometimes known as cat poo coffee. This so-called delicacy comes from beans that have been eaten and defecated by an Indonesian civet, a creature that looks a cross between a mongoose and a cat. I think we talked about this story a lot, almost a year ago.
I don't know, but that's a great
And-
picture, and it
yeah.
only goes to
Well-
show you this is what's going to happen,
Yeah.
folks.
Well, the cat. We talked about the cat poo coffee last year, but not about that toasted grasshopper chalupa. Ew.
No, I'm serious. It's going to get that serious. So many shortages of food. You got to invent shit like this.
Oh my
Get
goodness.
off the bugs.
Other strange food is called like the
Big roach.
sanachi, which is called a live baby octopus. Ooh. And it says that this residual nerve activity that keeps it moving and typically served drizzled in sesame seed oil. Ugh. And it says
Hello, Bleed. We're bleeding stories out.
yeah, but the thing is, it says that eat it at your own risk because the active suction cups of that baby octopus have been known to get stuck in your mouth or throat while swallowing, causing choking. Jeez.
Yeah, by the way, that's right.
Pass.
John the Baptist said that he lived on grasshoppers and honey. Isn't that great? You put it together there, ATT. Thank you.
Isn't that something?
Protein.
Yeah, a whole lot of protein. So you can actually eat, grasshoppers are a source of protein.
Cockroach souffle.
I don't know. I mean, what
You
do you
have-
think, Derek?
I don't know, man. I hope I don't have to get
You
to that
think that we're
point.
going to get to that point where the world is going to have to be eating bugs and things like that?
Well, there are people who eating bugs
boy.
right
You're probably eating
now.
bugs right now in the fish you don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely. That's
Who knows? Who knows the chickens
You got some
world?
words for us?
Yes, I do have some words.
Oh,
Personally,
yeah. We got a word origin and who said it first.
Yes, word origins and who said it first. Yes, we do. Matter of fact, we have a word of the day from Word Origins. Our word for the day is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is you talking about food and stuff. I guess here's the food. The word of the
What
day.
the hell's the word?
Cherry. ultimately comes from the Greek kerosos or cherry tree, which in Latin became cerasus.
Cherry.
Yes. This is borrowed into the Germanic languages in prehistoric times, producing as well as German Kirschi, Old English Ciris, Ciris, cherry, which died out in the 11th century. In Vulgar Latin, meanwhile, Cerasus had become Cericia, which passed on to Old Northern French as cherise, source of modern French cherise. When it was borrowed into English, its S ending was misinterpreted as indicating plurality. So a new singular cherry was created. So there's the word of the day, cherry.
Cherry. Pop that cherry. There we go.
Yes, indeed. Basically, who said this first? Who said that phrase first? A good man is hard to find. However much a cliche it now may seem, the observation didn't enter the language in that concise form until 1918, when legendary American jazz musician Eddie Green put it into a song and also into the language. Green's song garnered over 100 cover versions. A risque expression which might have been devised by Mae West, based on the song's title, inverted, became almost as well as known as the original.
Yeah, Mae West, Brooklyn girl.
Oh, yeah. So basically, who said that first? A good man is hard to find, by American jazz musician Eddie Green.
Yeah, some women say a hard man is good to find. Yeah. Some women, some.
Yep. Yes,
I
indeed.
used to say a good worker is hard to find. Believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Good workers are hard to find.
Yes, indeed.
Committed workers.
I just
That's
got
a rarity. That's why you have to pay so much money for it.
Yeah, I got a couple of birthdays to get into. You probably might know this person, Billy Graham, America's beloved Christian evangelist, who arose to celebrity status in 1949 and operates a variety of media and publishing outlets. He turns 95 years old today.
Wow. Oh.
Billy Graham.
Billy Graham. Still preaching.
Yeah, still preaching. Madame Curie, who was born on this day, born in 1867, died in 1934. She was a Polish physicist and chemist who discovered two radioactive elements, radium and polonium. Polonium, right? Now that's a 19th factor.
Yeah, there you go. More
And
polonium.
she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. Unfortunately, when she discovered the polonium, it actually eventually killed her. So
Good for her.
that's good for her.
She was really, she died doing what she wanted to do.
Yes, she did. Joni Mitchell, folk singer songwriter, whose album Blue considered one of the greatest albums of all times.
Interesting theory on it
Yes. Joni Mitchell's folks, she's 70 years old today. A child star, Dana Plato, the late Dana Plato, teen star.
Oh yes, Miss Porno.
Yeah, she was born
Dana
born
Porno.
on this day in 1964. She died in 1999 over a drug overdose. She played the teenage girl in Different Strokes on
Yeah,
NBC.
that show was worse than the Superman curse.
Oh yes, no, without a doubt,
They all died.
well,
Except for
Todd Bridges.
Todd Bridges.
Todd Bridges is still alive, and Mrs. Garrett. Christopher Knight, another child star, best known for his role as Peter Brady in the hit 70s series The Brady Bunch. He's 56 years old today.
Wow.
Really, incredible, just
Yeah.
incredible.
By the way, Todd Bridges did lead, right after the show. You know, he did the show. Then he became like a drug dealer in his neighborhood.
Cool.
Like big time. You know, he was selling on the corners, and everybody knew who he was. That's what's amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine being buying weed from Todd Bridges.
Yeah. Also, Morgan Spurlock, the producer of Super Size Me, an Oscar-nominated documentary of what can happen when someone lives off a diet consisting only of McDonald's food.
Wow.
He's 43 years old today. Youngjun Kim, Asian American actress, became a star after playing the character's son on the hit TV series Lost. She turns 40 years old today.
Yeah. That crappy show. Yeah.
Crabby show.
Lost. That's a stupid show. Lost.
Well, okay,
Like Gilligan's Island. You can't get lost.
I'll admit, okay, the polar bear in the island, that was kind of stupid. I mean, you can't see no big white polar bear in a big green jungle of an island. Come on now, that's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, look, if you wind up in an island today, I'm sure there's a way that you can get in touch with somebody.
Well, yes, I wouldn't be surprised now that some of these islands have Wi-Fi now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Actually, Melissa Ford, an actress and video vixen and music video model known by the nickname Jessica Rabbit due to her voluptuous figure. She's 37 years old today.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty much all the famous people that have. Yeah, that's
no
about it.
Kardashian birthday.
Oh yeah. Oh, Troy Bayer, actress turned screenwriter who gained fame as a role in the soap opera Dynasty. She played Diane Carroll's daughter on the show Dynasty. She's 49 years old today. 49. Troy Bayer.
Yes,
that's pretty much it.
Hillary Clinton at Crockpot Cheney in the White House. Kardashians are a bunch out to lunch. They're all out to lunch. We're all out to lunch. The whole world is out to lunch.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much out to lunch. Speaking of out to lunch, I think it may be the time for us to go to lunch. It's 11 o'clock right now.
Well, there you go.
There
Done.
you go.
3 hours. Bam, zoom.
Bang, kaboom.
Slam dunk or whatever.
I want to thank all of our guests here and mods and chatters here at ATT DS Photo Guy, here forever in the Cal 3000 Plastic Canvas, Too Much, Honest Guy, Bunny TV, Green Man, Idle Hands, Jesse, Just 1955, Locker Camp, Mod Security, Muhammad Hussein.
Here.
Mystic Shooter is back. Wow.
Yeah.
Noel, Scorpio,
and Tubby Dude is back.
Yes.
Remember Tubby Dude?
Tubby Dude or Tubby Dude?
Lager and Camp, of course. Thank you.
Yes, Watchdog one is there.
Thanks for you guys hanging out. I mean, you guys are really committed to the shitty show.
And thank you, Sergio St. James, for coming back, and Zappa one. And also,
blessed are you, by the way.
And Donnie Curry, who was here earlier, as well as Saibuki and Great Time Radio. He was here.
Mr. Shit is always great. Good, thank you, Plastic
Plastic,
Canvas.
it's been a pleasure.
We love you. We thank you. We are grateful to you participating in these 3 hours of bullshit every day.
Yes, it's 11:01. We'll see you tomorrow for Flatulent Friday. And on behalf of Irvin Ed, this is DB saying, can you smell what the roast is brewing?
See you tomorrow, baby.
Yes.
It's Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. Birds, go Falcons! Go Falcons!
Please win Sunday's game, Falcons. Please.
Birds, go Falcons! Go Falcons!
Please win.
Tomorrow is another day.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.